Right, hello everyone, and welcome to our character creation session of Blades in the Dark, where we make characters. You might be surprised by the amount of people, but there is reasons which will come quite apparent over the few weeks. Basically, we're going to be doing. Well, I'm just going to say it right now. You don't even need to wait a few weeks. I'm going to do it right now. We're just going to sort of have a semi West Marches style game of Blades in the Dark, so that if some people can't make it, we'll always have someone to fill in the gap, and also we'll cycle in people each week as well, so that people aren't always being left out. But other than that, hi, I'm James Corp, and this is week 0. So we're going to go around our wonderful virtual tabletop and get people to introduce themselves. So we'll start below me, which is everyone. Everyone's below me, apart from Monty, who's above me. We'll start with Fox.
Hi, I'm Fox. I guess this will be my second tabletop roleplay game, but
Yeah,
I'm not new to roleplay in general. So.
Yeah, you're like a veteran. Crystal?
I'm Kisal. This is my first time ever doing a stream of a role-playing game. I've been playing role-playing games for about 2 years now, and this is I'm relatively new to this.
Wet behind the ears.
Lots of wasted time playing D&D anyway. I'm looking forward to this and to have some crazy characters playing Blades with you.
J-Wall?
Hi, I'm Joel. I've been on a few streams now. Warhammer, Numenera, D&D. Ran my own campaign. Well, 2 sessions. I'm not amazing at role playing, and I get shouted at for not talking up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Blades, and been looking forward to it for about a year now.
Mm-hmm. Spooky?
Hi, I'm Spooky. I'm a creative streamer on Twitch, and this is basically my first serious RP I'll be joining, and I'm excited to get started.
And Alexis?
Hello, I'm Alexis. I've been role-playing for some 10 years on and off. I've been only recently streaming with the RPG Lab, and I haven't played Blades before yet. I've been really interested in it, so I'm looking forward to this.
And we've got one more person who will be joining us within probably the next half hour, so we'll get them to introduce themselves once they get here. But other than that, Monty's got to introduce himself. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Monty. I've been role playing for about 20 plus years now, something like that. I've run everything from D&D to Blades in the Dark, Numenera, random homebrew stuff. I've played a whole plethora of different things as well. Hopefully we'll be getting into some interesting heists and or hijinks as the game goes forward.
Cool. So, what do we need to do? Because I think the plan is we're not going to say what type of thingy we're playing to each other. We're going to do it, and then we're going to go, I'm playing this, and then I'm playing that, so that we don't know what we're going to be playing or what option the crew, so whatever. Monty explains it better than I do.
I mean, to kind of stop people from being biased or biasing themselves on what kind of character they should be playing, just choose the kind of playbook you want to use in secret, and then we'll go through and reveal it afterwards, basically.
This is where we just end up with everybody being spiders.
That's totally fine. Like, if we want to have a crew that's like 100% spiders, which would be insane, but awesome. You just like the league of like master manipulator puppet masters going on.
I've heard the Vol Cutters.
Yeah.
They just drank the rage potions and killed everything.
Yeah.
It worked somehow.
Yeah. So don't feel like we have to have like a balanced group or anything. It's totally fine for us to have 99% whispers and one person being a leech. It's like whatever. yeah, just make your choice. I mean, read through the playbooks. Make your choice, and then we'll go around and we can start filling in the blanks later. I mean, you know, you can read more in depth if you want to, but the general quick overviews should give you enough of a flavour to kind of get a feel for what kind of character you want to do. In fact, I'll go through the types now. So the ones that are available are the cutters, and they're basically they're basically good at winning fights. They're like kind of muscle, but they're also intimidation. A lot of their strengths come from commanding people through force or intimidation. So if you're the kind of player who wants to basically get your way no matter what, then play a cutter, basically. Or if you like hurting people, also be a cutter. Next one up is the hound. And hounds are basically good at tracking things down and also long distance combat. So if you want to play like a sniper or, you know, the kind of sort of investigatory type that hunts people down, finds where their secret hiding places are, stuff like that. You know, if you want to take control of the battlefield from a distance, then being a hound's a good character to go for. Next one up is the Leech. So they're the kind of techno nerd people. They're good at alchemy, and they're also good at like breaking things and sabotage. So if you want to create bombs, or if you want to create weird gadgets and devices, or if you want to interact and know about the weird technology that exists in Duskwall, then and play with the kind of weird tools that are available to you, be a Leech basically. Next up is the Lurk. So the Lurks are good at sneaking around and breaking into places. They're just kind of like the standard kind of sneak thief type character. If you want to slink around in the shadows and be hidden, steal stuff, you know, being a Lurk's the one to go for. After that, we've got the Slides. Slides are kind of like the grifters. They're good at social situations and subterfuge. Like if you want to be a manipulator and deceiver of people, you know, a smooth talker, then being a Slide is the one to go for. The next one up is the Spider, and they're the kind of the mastermind behind the scenes. They're the puppet masters that know how to manipulate people and events from behind the scenes to kind of try and achieve things that they want to do. They're good as like assist characters as well. They're good at setting up their teammates, and working with other factions in order to try and achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So if you want to kind of be that kind of behind the scenes mastermind, Spider's a really good character to go for. Then the final one is the Whisper. So the Whispers are the ones that are into the weird, magical, spiritual stuff of Blades in the Dark. If you want to be dealing with ghosts and magic and arcane powers, channeling the ghost fields through your body to shoot lightning bolts, or, you know, doing weird stuff, then Whisper's a good one to go for. And that's all the types, but also don't feel like you're limited to doing just those things in any one type. Like, you know, you can be a Spider that, like, you know, runs around and cuts people's faces off. You know, you don't have to be a cutter to do that. You know, it's like, you know, you can be a Lurk who knows how to commune with the ghost field and control ghosts. Like, you know, you don't have to be the Whisper. So like one of them's obviously kind of your main forte, but don't feel like you're restricted from doing any of the other ones just because you pick Whisper or you pick Leech or you pick Cutter. So there we go. So has everyone got any kind of like a good feel for what kind of role they'd want to play?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Shall we go around the group then, and people can say what they're thinking. I don't know who wants to go first.
Order of introduction.
Are you sort of saying like what we're thinking about doing for our character?
Yeah, like, you know, just like, you know, what kind of playbook do you think you're going to go for?
I think I'm going to go Whisper.
Cool.
Cutter.
Nice.
Hey, well.
Yeah.
Spider.
Cool.
Spooky.
Whisper.
Yes.
And Alexis?
Just yeah, so
I'm thinking between Leech and Whisper. Not sure yet.
Lurk.
Cool.
What was that?
You were very excited about that.
Super excited.
Cool. So we've got 2 whispers for sure. We've got a cutter, a spider, a lurk, and then we've got a maybe whisper. Yes, a whisker. Yes, yeah,
Cat
someone
food. We've got some cat food.
managed to cross lurk and whisper together.
It was the dance spit you off, didn't it?
Yeah,
I guess I'm playing a Whisker then.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. What's putting you on the fence about your 2 options?
My idea is mostly someone who tries to create items to communicate with demonic forces. So, it's kind of a mix of both.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, interesting.
So I'm just wondering which to take as a base.
yeah,
I mean, Whisper feels like it's a stronger connection to that. I mean, Leech obviously has it's the creative tool side of things. So I guess it depends on what your approach wants to be. Do you want to be a person who focuses on arcane knowledge and occult ritual and stuff, or do you want to focus very more specifically on a kind of scientific approach to demons? You're trying to basically Ghostbuster them, and you're trying to use technology to control demons and ghosts and stuff like that. And sure, all of this attuning stuff that Whispers can do is cool and thing, but you want to understand it from a more technical level, or are you more interested in the end results and your if attuning and using your mind to interact with the ghost field and stuff is better for you, then you'd just go with that. I mean, I guess it depends on what it is that appeals to you most: using technology to understand things, or having direct power over things. Which ones?
No, I'll go with Leech then, because I want to have someone who's, I guess, a scientific approach.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, you can also change your playbook as things go on. So as you start advancing and whatnot, you can shift into taking advancements from the Whisper playbook. Or,
I'll see where the character takes me.
Yeah, we'll play and find out basically. So cool. So so you should all have your characters sheets in Roll20. So you can start filling those out. So I mean, I guess now that we've got a roster of characters, more or less, at least playbooks, we can either go through and flesh out each character and do all of the heritages and the backgrounds and choose your starting advancements and stuff like that, or we can try and decide together what kind of crew you guys want to be.
Should we do the characters first, and then when yeah,
because it influences the crew, kind of what they're doing.
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. We'll leave the crew until we've got Dale on board to come up with their character as well, and then we're. So I guess, I guess who wants to go first into determining the rest of their character bits and bobs? Any volunteers?
I've got a few things, but not everything.
Okay.
So.
We'll go. Yeah, go, folks. Go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that I want her heritage to be Tycheros.
Okay, cool. So a bit of demon heritage in there.
Yeah,
nice,
so
nice.
And I'm trying to figure out how I want that to appear on her.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, in the manual, it suggests either sort of shark eyes or feathered hair. So I was thinking either something to do with the eyes, or patches of scales, or a forked tongue.
Yeah,
Still trying to Still
could
trying
have
to play around with it.
yeah, there's a lot of things you could do. Like you could have a tail, you could have cloven feet. You could have
Yeah.
horns, or you could go something like weirder. Like you have like fine downy fur across all your body, or you have or like full on scale face, or I mean, it depends on how obvious you want it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be reasonably obvious so that someone so that you're noticeably Taisaroki. You could, I mean, that you could use it like makeup or disguise to hide it, but you would have to try and hide it, like for it to be not noticeable. It shouldn't be something that anyone can just like glance at you and go and not even notice. But
background, I'm thinking academic, that perhaps she's before being a whisperer, she was sort of maybe a professor of the supernatural.
Mhm.
This is just sort of one idea I'm leaning to. I've got two very different ideas that they're both Taisaroki and they're both whispers, but I'm either going for the very unsuspecting looking professor type character or the very, very weird, weedy looking person, and I'm kind of stuck between the two of them.
Well, you should play the professor because you're not in roleplay. You're not supposed to play yourself.
Wow! Wow!
Ooh. Hurt.
Ouch! Oh, where my feels are.
Will be 50 cent by the end of this.
And then I know that I want her to have a weird voice. Yeah, I think I probably will go for the professor thing. So she looks completely unsuspecting, well-to-do, and then she's just the weirdness underneath.
Yeah. So some kind of like university professor, or like PhD type. So if you want it to be like a sort of more studenty, still studying type.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So Taisaroki academic. So so I guess like what's coming from Taisaroki, like what made you want to go to the universities of Duskwall? What made you what's brought you over the Ink Black Sea to join the academics
I'm sort of
in the
thinking
Empire?
that she came over when she was quite young, so she doesn't really remember much of her motherland, as it were.
Right, yeah.
Maybe her parents came over for trade and business or something, and because she grew up there, it doesn't feel weird to her for her to go into academics.
Cool. So you're kind of like an Taisaroki culturally, almost, but you've got the Taisaroki heritage. Okay, cool. So, with that in mind, and your academia background, I guess we assign your additional action dots. So, I guess what particular skill do you think reflects your Taisaroki heritage?
So I couldn't actually. I don't know whether I'm blind, but I couldn't see too much information on the Taisaroki in the.
Oh
book.
yeah, no. The book's extremely vague about any details. So it's kind of like it's up to you to define what being a Taisaroki means to you. So what do you think's cool? Like would be a skill that you would, or an action that you would like to be better at, and then how would you what about being a Taisaroki would justify that?
Well, so
define something.
Part of me would say the surveying thing, because if they're believed to be half demonic, then they're going to have that sort of extra sense of what's going on, and the surveying is sort of sensing trouble before it happens, that sort of thing.
Okay, yeah. So you have maybe there's a somewhere back in the gene pool, there's a little bit of a almost supernatural awareness going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So shove a bit of that into survey then. Yep. And so what about your academics, do you think?
I would probably put a second point into study, because Whisper obviously comes with the 1 point already in study. But as an academic, I feel like it would make sense for an extra point in that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, equally, attune would make sense. I mean, in fact, it would make sense for either of your backgrounds. I mean, considering that you're studying supernatural stuff, attunement makes sense, and also being Taikarosi, but perhaps they have a stronger connection to the ghost field or something like that.
But attune's already at 2 as a base.
Of course it is.
I felt like that was already at a good level there.
Cool. So, and then you have 2 more dots that you can put anywhere you like.
Yes. I feel like I probably want to do consort. And finesse.
Interesting.
Just because I feel like it.
Yeah. So I guess your consort is your moving in academic circles and stuff. Yeah. Know how to talk to the other professors and stuff like that. And,
yes.
Yeah. Where's your finesse come from? What's?
I don't really know. I haven't thought that far ahead yet.
I mean, obviously, you got into crime for a reason.
Yeah.
So, and finesse lends itself to certain kinds of crime
maybe
more than others.
She just picked up from her parents, particularly if her parents came over for the market, as it were.
Cool.
Maybe her parents weren't in quite the same situation of privilege that she is, because they didn't grow up in the big place.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. But yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I guess now you need to pick your special ability. So you should have so you have a number of ones you can choose from. Yeah.
See, I thought Tempest sounds quite cool, but then at the same time it feels too similar to the character that I was playing on Numenera, so I don't want to go with that one.
Fair enough. Doubling down on the old lightning.
Yeah. The first 3, Compel, Ghost Mind, or Iron Will, are the ones that I'm most drawn to at the moment.
I guess you tell, you define the kind of problems I'll throw at you by defining who your character is. So, if you want to be getting into situations where you can compel ghosts, then choose compel.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like I want to go for that one. So yeah, I'm going to go for that.
Cool. So I think that's you done. Oh no, the other thing we should do is choose what's your friend and your enemy is from your playbook.
Yes. Oh, doesn't say what they are on here, so I'm gonna have to get the book open. Okay, so I quite like the idea of having Nyrix as a rival, a ghost that escaped from service.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put him for that. I kind of want to have Sitara as an ally, a demon.
Right, yeah.
Perhaps as an old connection or something. I should imagine that demons probably live a very, very long time. Maybe there's an old familial connection,
like forever,
or something. Yeah.
They basically don't die. So
that's a good perk to have.
Yeah, they are extremely powerful, and also they are not people. Do not think they remotely have human style motivations. So they are not your friends. Even if you're friendly with them, they're not your friends.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he sort of owes the family a favor or something.
Yeah, potentially. Maybe there was some kind of occult, ritualistic debt made in the past. That's
has yet to come
Jeez.
up several
Yes.
generations down the line.
Yeah. Well, that could be something interesting to find out during play. Okay, so so you're choosing as your like friend / ally. What's Satara? Are you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh, and then your enemy is was who again?
The ghost.
Merrick,
The
right?
ghost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So I suppose we should probably come up with a name for your character. So have you thought of who your character is called?
No idea.
Okay.
Actually, that's not strictly true. I had no idea when I was going for the other potential idea for the character. She's a pretty fancy lady, so fancy name, Meredith Blackwood.
Cool.
And obviously, if she's in a lot of social circles, she probably doesn't want the crime side of her life associated with that. So, I was thinking alias of Raven.
Cool.
Nice. Cool. So, yes, Raven the Whisperer, who consorts with demons and makes enemies of ghosts. Interesting. So- right. Next up, who wants to go?
Oh, I'll give you guys a chance.
If no one else wants to go, I'll go.
Cool. Right, let's do it. So you were playing a lurk, weren't you?
Yep.
Okay. So, what's your heritage and your background?
So I think is it Soklavian? Soklavian.
What, Scotland?
Scotland, yeah. We'll go with that one. The one that I couldn't pronounce. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Parents were farmers.
Mhm.
And obviously there was a war there, it says. And their farmland was destroyed during the war. They've come to Duskwall.
Duskwall. Yeah.
And struggled. So I've lived on the streets most of my life. And then my background will be underworld because I grew up as on the streets.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, so where do you think that puts your action dots then? Where do you think? What about being a Scotland increases one of your actions, one way or another?
I reckon sturdy, maybe.
What's study?
Okay, I read that wrong. Ignore that. I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about that. I assume he'd be more. I read it as sturdy. Yeah. For some reason, I'm dyslexic. Excuse me.
No worries.
Might be survey as well.
It could
you
be.
gotta watch out on the streets.
Yeah, he's got a lot of street smarts, I reckon. So he's whatever that would fit under, whatever street
survey
smarts.
makes sense.
Yeah, is that one?
Yeah.
Is that one? How do I do this on the cat sheet? How does this look?
Let's see, which character sheet are you?
I am. Has it changed on there? No, it hasn't. I'll have to change it in a minute. I'm Oakrev, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. So study, survey, should I say? There you go.
Oh, right, okay.
I
So it
checked-
literally be
checked
there,
it.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Didn't know.
Okay, and then so what about being from the underworld? Do you think increases one of your actions?
Sway, I reckon, a way of basically convincing people not to beat the shit out of him because he's not from Duskwall.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you know, since you're dealing with dangerous people, you need to know how to keep them calm so they don't cut you a new one.
Well, it's not just that. It's just, I mean, just for being on the streets, you did learn a way of like making sure that you can, especially being a foreigner.
Well, in that case, it sounds like that's coming more from your Scotland background than it does from your underworld one. If you're using the foreign angle to basically say that I need to be able to be a good communicator and a good kind of like liar and stuff to be able to convince people to let me into their inner circles, then we'll say that's the Scotland one. So yeah, so what about the underworld then?
Well, they're having streetwise, surely.
The survey stuff comes from the underworld one then. Cool. Okay, cool. So then you've got 2 more dots to spend wherever you want.
Do I need to come up with reasons why?
You don't have to, but having some idea would helps you build the character in your head. So
Right, okay.
I mean, obviously, you want to be a sneak thief, so putting things into those areas makes sense. But you might also want to kind of like round yourself out a bit. So
I do like rounding myself out.
I mean, one of the other things to consider is that, from a mechanical perspective, is that the more well-rounded you are, the easier it is for you to do things like resist consequences and stuff like that. So, if you're heavily focused in one specific set, like if you're all of your stuff is in insights and you have nothing in anything else, then if you get into a situation where you need to use prowess to resist the effect of something, then you've got nothing to roll. So it's going to be considerably harder for you to resist those kind of things.
I'm going to go for. I think a bit of consort would help as well. Like at least one dot, so that he's quite a charming dashing rogue type thing. You know. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Since I'm on there, I'll just stick a boy.
I'm not sure what skirmish is.
So skirmish is literally melee combat. It's like hand-to-hand fighting.
He plans on doing none of that.
Yeah.
Obviously, plan and what actually happens is 2 different things, but finesse.
Do you know how to shoot a gun?
No,
Properly?
I don't think he's going to be I don't think he's going to be a particularly violent person.
Yeah.
He's
So
somebody who slinks around in the shadows. So I reckon he'd be good at like getting into. I mean, can I add one to finesse?
Yeah, you can. You can go up to a maximum of 2 at start.
Yeah, I'm going to shove additional one in because he's quite good with his hands.
Kind of gives you an idea of the character, actually. Possibly a weasel, maybe just very cautious because he knows he needs to be.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
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 Cool. So you're. Yeah. So where in the underworld? Like, what is it about the underworld that makes your backgrounds? Because we know it's an underworld relationship, but like, is it that you're like a kind of like a street urchin type thing?
I mean, his parents moved. Well, were refugees here. They had no money when they left their homeland. They had even less money when they got here. So it's always been an uphill struggle. They probably all lived in one room. Do you know what I mean? And there's probably more than one family that lived there. And I guess rather than being cooped up all day with like multiple families, he was out on the streets constantly, and where he was picked up by he just fell into that crowd, I guess. Not knowing any better. Maybe it was a way for the family to actually earn some money. I mean, it's dishonest, but when you're desperate.
Like, sort of like pickpocket on the street type thing, a little bit of a thief, just to keep things going. Yeah, cool. So what's this refugee street urchin look like then? What's he like now that he's growing up?
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah.
No. I reckon he's got like dark hair. He's probably got he's probably mid-20s, I reckon. He's still quite wet behind. Well, he's not wet behind the ears, but he looks wet behind his ears, but he's not. So it's sort of like a whole like misguided thing. There's actually things I need to pick, isn't there, for description, isn't there?
You don't have to pick any specific thing. They're just there for examples. But
his athletic, I guess he looks well. If people see him, am I describing it? Yeah, I guess I'm just. Yeah, he's generally. He's not the best looking guy. He's probably got scars on his face or scars on his hand. And he's probably been arrested a few times in the past by the blue coats, and or the bobbies or whatever you want to call them in this. I know they're called blue coats, but don't bobbies wear blue coats? But I guess he is very. He's young, but his youthful appearance. Like he's more experienced than he looks, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So he's deceptively youthful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess your special ability then. Which one do you want to have out of the gate?
I was going to go for.
Fair enough. Nice. So you're particularly skilled at breaking into places, regardless of whether or not they would normally be out of your league. Nice. Cool.
I've even got a name, and I even got a nickname as well, an alias.
Nice.
I might change it because I don't know if it's magpies that do it. So his name is Samuel Garrett. Do you like the name? Do you like the stolen name?
Bit of a thief reference.
Yep.
Yeah.
And magpie. I can't remember which one it was. That's like they like shiny objects.
Yeah, magpies are definitely those.
Magpies. Oh, there's a bit of a carrion bird theme going here.
Yeah.
So far.
Maybe that's going to decide your crew name. Who knows? It's like,
Yeah.
Cool. So who's up next?
I need to do friends and enemy.
Oh, you do, don't you? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well
Right.
remembered.
So Dharma, a blue coat. He probably arrested me at one point, but he's actually an ally rather than an enemy. Maybe
Sort of to put on you a couple of times, maybe.
Yeah. And then someone else I was gonna go for. I was either gonna go for the beggar, Telad the beggar, who's a complete racist son of a gun.
Right,
Towards
yeah.
me.
Like just if Scotland's taking our jobs, that's why I'm a goddamn bag on the streets,
Or I was gonna go for Petra, a city clerk, who's just like constantly like, I don't know. Perhaps she's hounded me for. Well, she doesn't like me. She doesn't like the family. Maybe they think we're in trouble, which is what we are.
Just thinks she's better than you, basically. Yeah. Yeah,
so
totally.
Whichever one you want, whichever one you prefer, which you'd be more comfortable doing.
Either. I mean, it's like which do you like more? It's
See, I couldn't decide. I might flip a coin.
Yeah, I mean, like they both give you different options. Like having a beggar, beggars like they have a lot of connections to the other people in the underworld. Like they get around a lot. They have they're on the street, and they kind of live closer to like your world. So having like an enemy that's in your world means you're more likely to get into situations that
sure we'll go for the beggar. We'll go for the racist beggar.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, equally the clerk, obviously because they're in a different world, that gives you a connection to a whole different world. Like, even if it's not a positive one, it's like potentially you can leverage it for things. So, yeah, it's there's always pros and cons to everything. Cool. So we got that sorted. Right. So I think that's done, isn't it? So who's up next?
I've got things sorted out, so I can go next.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So you were going Leech after all, weren't you?
Leech, yes.
Yeah. Cool. So where is your Leech from?
So I was thinking heritage Akaros and background academic. So someone from Duskwall, perhaps of maybe a medium standing in society until she lost her parents and, ended up in university while she had money.
Yeah.
But
to decline to play with student loans.
Sorry, today my internet is really terrible. It's usually not like this. I'm sorry about that. So basically, my idea was she ran out of money, and she also been doing weird experiments in her free time, and that caused her to get kicked out of the university.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So having that, so you're like so you're sort of like a disgraced academic almost. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
And my idea was to pick physiker, so basically someone who likes to play around with blood and bodies.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that'll help keep people healthy as long as you don't, decide that you'll keep a souvenir to experiment on. Yes.
Yes. So I was thinking maybe she was experimenting on corpses and someone caught her in the university one night and just promptly got kicked out. Like, we had enough. You don't have money. You're doing this with corpses. We don't want you anymore.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So your friends and enemies.
So I was thinking friend Ecker, the corpse thief, just someone who
makes sense.
helps me with my hobby. And for enemy, I was thinking Melissa, a priestess. Since I am also dabbling with the occult, I have a passing interest in it.
Yeah.
And how it connects with our bodies and our blood.
Yeah, so is she a priestess of the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, perhaps? She's
my idea was that she was together with Melissa, and they both were the fan of the same god.
Mm-hmm.
But after my character decided that, you know what, this god doesn't actually work with all the things that I've discovered, they just had a falling apart and they're not together anymore. So
they had a bit of religious differences after they after you kind of discovered the things you discovered are just incompatible with your beliefs.
And the relationship immediately just went boom.
Nice. Cool. One thing that I haven't done with everyone yet is decide what people's vices are yet. I'll come back we'll go back around since I've managed to skip everyone so far, so and we'll reveal our vices afterwards. But
I had a question about that because I was initially thinking weird because that's already what she's doing. But if that's like what I'm doing generally, is that really a vice? Maybe I should pick something else as a vice?
No, I mean, it only makes sense because there's a difference between you doing it like just because you're interested in it, and then doing it because you need to do it because it's the only way you can relax and blow off steam. There's when you need to do it, there's the way that you're doing it's obviously different to when you're doing some focused study or that particular experiment or something.
Okay, I'll go with weird. I'll just say she's obsessed with this.
Yeah. Cool.
So what about my points exactly? I add.
Right. So you've got a point from your heritage and a point from your background. So you've got so what about being an Akarosi improves one of your actions, basically? What action do you think is improved by your Akarosi heritage? I mean, the justification's entirely up to you to make. So it's don't feel like you can't choose something just because you're Akarosi.
I want to say attune, since this is where I got in contact with the unnatural. And I get a point from academic, you said?
Yes, yeah. So your academics derive one of your action points as well.
I'll put that into study.
Makes sense. And then you got 2 more you can put anywhere you want.
Anywhere I want. Okay.
Except Tinker, because that's already at 2.
Okay, I'll put one in consort. And a second in study.
Cool. Yeah, so obviously you got the one in rec from being a leech. Like what what have you wrecked? What have you deliberately tried to destroy or sabotage or whatnot? Like, how do you develop those skills?
Oh, well, after I got kicked out of the university, I tried to poison everyone in it.
Nice.
Apt.
Yeah.
I take offense to that because that was probably my character was involved.
Maybe you helped them. I don't know. That there could be a friendship there. You're both from the university. Like you both got kicked out. Maybe it was like your joint revenge program.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to that my character is still in the university. Like her normal life hasn't been. It's still separate from her life of crime, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can try and do that, and we'll see how well that works out for you. But
Well, I'm specifically targeting the teaching body in any case. And maybe I succeeded with one or two, but not really with everyone.
Yeah. Cool. Right.
Or
So
maybe
I guess,
my character's just left university or something.
Yeah. I mean, if you are a professor, maybe the reason you got your job was because someone became mysteriously ill and they needed to quickly promote someone up. It's like,
And I was the next most knowledgeable person on undead things and ghosts.
Yeah.
Maybe like mortally ill or like coma ill because of poison, possibly, hypothetically, allegedly.
Yeah. Cool. So who's next?
Oh, and since we're going with like a bird theme, I decided for the alias to be Blood Crow.
Cool.
All right. So we're going with the bird theme, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, don't feel tied to it, but if you if that's where we want to go, that's where we want to go.
We'll see. I was initially thinking of possibly making a Scotlander who fought in the Unity War. Him being like a pull yourself by the bootstraps kind of guy, not accepting people who use excuses like the fact that people are racist against them because they're Scotlanders, which is true, they are. But my character would be having the mentality of like, yeah, but you're just using that as an excuse, even though it's true. People can complain, just not you. But that might enter into a little bit of conflict with James's character, which might be good or bad, depending on how we spin it and what James is comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, I guess how do you feel? I mean, it depends what your character's kind of like attitude is to their heritage. Like, if you're the kind of person who plays the race card and is very kind of like, I'm hard done by because I'm a Scotlander, like cut me some slack, then you guys are going to be at odds with each other quite a lot. But if you kind of don't really think about that stuff, and you sound like, being that you grew up on the streets and you kind of had to fend for yourself, you sound like you're kind of like a very, very much self-starter kind of character anyway, that you've
Who, me?
So yeah,
probably. But he may not have been born there. He may have been born in. He may be. If it's 28 years ago, he was probably born in Duskwall.
Yeah. So you're naturalised Akarosi, but like you were born of Scotlanders, so you're Scotlander blood. Yeah. I mean, well, we can play to find out how that affects the dynamic. You'll probably both learn a bit from each other, I imagine. So we'll see how it goes. Cool. So
I also thought of other things in case this doesn't sound very appealing.
I mean, what's everyone else's take on at the table? It's like anyone. Is anyone like, nope, I'm out if there's any kind of like racial tension things going on, or is
I think that fictional racial tensions are something that people shy away from too much. Like I've been in too many role plays where people are scared of doing the elf versus dwarf racism because it's racism, but
Yeah.
it's a much more immersive experience if that, particularly when you're doing something that's 17th, 18th century. It makes more sense.
Yeah, well,
As long as we don't break TOS, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you're
Well,
basically playing a character. You know, if your character is racist, doesn't mean you're racist.
Exactly.
And indeed, like if we hit a level where anyone's not comfortable, straight up, we'll
Just
say
exit, yeah.
and we'll adjust it. It's not like we're committed to racism now. It's like it's we'll play the game and see how it goes. So cool. So we've got another Scotlander. What was your background?
Military. I was thinking of either having fought on the Unity Wars or maybe having fought on a militia after the war ended. Just like boneheaded bastards who don't realize that they're just causing meaningless strife for them and their enemy. And generally, it's lost. It's a lost war.
Yeah. So kind of a bit like the war's not over for you, kind of a bit, is it? It's like, or more, the war is over for you, and you're really fed up with all of the other people who are still holding the grudge type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of like Braveheart. That's what I was thinking. So I wasn't thinking of that as like necessarily a pejorative thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so military.
Cool. And were you just a general grunt in the military, or were you like a more like a high up officer, or?
Maybe something. I don't think he'd be high up. Just like possibly like some sort of shock troops.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody who like butted heads, not literally, with their higher ups a lot, or at least he did in his youth, or relative youth, and just something made him not go up. Maybe it's his enemies or something.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when the war ended, were you one of the ones that surrendered, or were you the ones that kind of fought to the bitter end and eventually ended up in like a POW camp or something, and then got relocated? Or
I think he probably would have maybe not fought to the end, but maybe going more for potentially something worse, which would be kind of like guerrilla tactics, possibly like banditry.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So he's almost he kind of was the people he now hates. Like he like the war was kind of lost, but he still kept fighting it, and then eventually he realized this isn't happening. This is a lost cause, and gave it up. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's just like still simmering the thoughts about the war, and like he's kind of adapting to the situation of actually having lost. And like he realized that recently. That's why he's getting a job, not a proper job, but a way to make money decently. But yeah,
not killing too many people.
He might go to either side. Like he might be like, oh yeah, this was stupid. We need to get our sovereignty back. Or maybe it's like, yeah, I don't care anymore because I'm kind of cold and dead to this. I'm pretty much waiting to see how the traumas go, essentially.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So with your Scotland heritage, where do you think that puts an action point?
Wreck.
Nice.
That's what I was thinking. The part of military, possibly prowl.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, especially if you kind of want to tie it into that kind of guerrilla tactics stuff. Yeah.
As for the skills I would like to use on my own, hunt, and actually I was thinking that maybe not prowl but survey. I'm not sure. No, I'll stick with prowl probably.
Potentially put another point in command, or
I'm thinking of like either command or sway. because in this case it's just metagaming thing, because
Yeah.
that resolve will really help, because I will need it a lot. 'Cause I'm intending on using the Rage Essence vials, so I think I'll go more for the consort, like the two-headed coin of the soft approach and the I will break your bones if you do not do this.
Yeah.
If you don't do this.
You're both good cop and bad cop. Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. Cool. So, for your special ability, then, which one's appeals to you most?
That's an interesting question. Like Battleborn or Not to be Trifled with, I think would be the ones.
Yeah.
The ones that will interest me the most. Because I think it's really badass using Not to be Trifled with fight a bunch of dudes at the same time, like they're just one person. So maybe I'll just go with the cool factor and geek out a little bit with Not to be Trifled with.
Cool. Right, so I guess your dangerous friends. Who's your friends and your enemy?
Oh. I think I'm maybe I think I'd be friends with Marlene, the pugilist, since she kind of makes her bread and butter from her skills and like literal hard labor of just going in the fighting pits every day, or maybe not every day, but frequently. And maybe I like extorted Sawtooth. I maybe like threatened him to break the back of his wife or daughter or something if he didn't fix one of my buds, and he just wasn't able to do it. So I kind of can't make promises if you're not gonna keep them.
Oh, you're a pleasant fellow, aren't you? You're pleasant.
I'm a pleasant fellow. I'm.
He's not to be trifled with.
Yeah, I'm not to be trifled with.
I like trifle anyway.
So yeah, and like I'm thinking that probably it'll tie up in his vice a little bit. Probably gonna be stupid or something, because you need to get away from the things you did. Like people get PTSD not from the things they saw, but the things they did themselves.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of those cases. Yeah.
Cool.
Not a pleasant guy.
Yeah. Right. So I think it's just Spooky and Jable left now. So who wants to go first?
I'll go, I guess.
Cool.
I was thinking of making. Well, I was playing a Whisper, or I'm gonna play a Whisper, and I was thinking of making her Eruvian.
All right. Nice.
And then I was thinking of giving her some trade background. I had a kind of like a tiny story written. Can I just read that?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
I basically had the idea that she migrated to Duskwall as a teenager with her parents, and that her parents started up like a pet shop in Duskwall. Well, not like a PetSmart, but like something a bit more dark, obviously.
Well, okay, yeah.
And I wasn't sure if whispers are able to like summon creatures.
Well, that's we can define that as a thing. Like, you know, I mean, do you want to be able to summon creatures? Like, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd be kind of. I mean, what kind of creatures? Like electroplasmic kind of like spirit
sort of like
creatures.
Ghost. Yeah,
like totally. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if we define it that you can do it, all whispers can do it. So if you come up like, you know, so there will be ghost animals will be a thing. You know.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
We are on a very, very similar train of thought. I quite like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was kind of, you know, hoping like set this mangled ghost dog on somebody.
Yeah, I was thinking of her having like this pet since she was little, like something like a snake or something, but it'll be like a ghost snake sort of.
Mhm.
It could be a
And-
bird.
I was thinking that her parents, so they owned this pet shop and they basically sold their pets to people who needed it. But since business has gone sour in Duskwall, since, you know, people have other priorities
Mhm.
these days, they've basically closed down. Which made her, like my character, turn to the black market instead to sell her creatures.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, when you're obviously dealing in spirits at all is highly illegal. So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's basically the gist I had of my character. I wanted her to be some sort of like, I guess like, you know, in World of Warcraft, you're like a druid, you know, just like some sort of like pet handling character.
Mhm.
That's basically most what I came up with.
Okay, cool. So, what about being a Ruvian affects your action points?
Let's see.
I mean, and you can define something about a Ruvia if you want to. I mean, the stuff like that's kind of defined as part of the setting is that you know, it's kind of a rich and powerful kingdom far to the south. It's considered for, like, you know, of all of the other kind of like races that show up in Duskwall, Aruvians are considered like the foreigners. And there's kind of like a Persian, Egyptian, Indian type thing going on with them. But one of the other setting, one of the other cities in the Blades in the Dark setting is set in Aruvia, and there's like a quite a strong sort of demonic presence in like their upper echelons of their society.
All right.
But like, it's up to you how you want to define like what being a Ruvian means to you, basically, and what it means to other people.
I'm having trouble like trying to think of something right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could help me out with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things that's common in Aruvia is their like their sword play and their sword arts. But I mean, you don't have to necessarily be skilled with a sword, but perhaps like one of the, you know, just because of your heritage, you've got some finesse. You know how to like to move carefully and
Yeah, that sounds good.
with grace and stuff. So
Yeah. So I just put 1 point in finesse?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we've got your trade background. So what about your trade makes you good at something? I mean, the first things that leap out to me is something like consort or sway. Like sway, probably more so. You know, you'll convince people to, you know, buy things,
buy your stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I'll just put 1 point in sway.
Cool. And then you've got 2 more points you can put wherever you want.
I'll probably put another point in study. And
you've got quite the group of academics at the moment. You've got,
yeah, we do.
a lot of studiers. Yeah.
And then maybe 1 in prowl, because I feel like because she deals with a lot of animals, they might teach her something about, you know, being agile and
or at the very least, you've got to be able to sneak up on them so you can catch them.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess what your special ability is. I mean, given that you kind of want to control / you know, deal in ghostly animals, there's certainly some special abilities that come to mind.
Yeah, I was looking at ritual because it was talking about summoning a supernatural effect or being.
Yeah.
But I read a bit about it in the in the book, and it seemed pretty complicated with that you have to have some sort of like counter to it, so you have to give up something to summon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like rituals, like they always have a price that needs to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what that price is, we can sort of negotiate that when you want to cast a ritual, and also rituals take time.
Yeah.
But I mean, perhaps that's how you managed to, because I mean, generally in the setting there aren't ghost animals, but
Okay.
and perhaps, but like we can change that based on what's happened here, like based on how we've generated the character.
Yeah.
But it could be that maybe they are still quite rare, and one of the things you use rituals for is to kind of stop their spirits from dissipating and bind them to the world or something.
Yeah.
It could be something like that if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I mean, I guess that's what we're defining. That's how animal spirits work in this world. Is that
Yeah.
they fade away or go feral or whatnot very quickly compared to like human spirits.
Mm-hmm.
But with a specialist ritual, you can bind them and keep them kind of in their animal state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
And I could help you like tinker with the bodies of the animals if it's needed.
Yeah. I mean, perhaps there's even part of the ritual that it's more complicated than just letting their spirit rise out of the body. You need to give them a bit of a helping hand. So,
yeah. That could be interesting.
Yeah. Cool. So so your strange friends, your enemies, and your friends, who are those?
I was thinking that I had a run-in with Satara, but it wasn't a good one. That I don't know if it's a he or she. I don't know if demons really have a gender. But...
Yes. Yeah. It's yeah. I mean, we can define that as we play, I guess.
I think the book refers to Satara as male. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I think it refers to Satara as female most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had an idea that like she used to know a lot more rituals than she does right now, but Satara like got into her pet shop and like stole all her rituals away from her.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
So she has a bit of a bad relationship with her.
Yeah.
Thought it'd be interesting too because Fox's character has a friendship with her.
Yeah.
some sort of positive relationship at least.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, and your positive relationship.
I was thinking of Quellen.
Mm-hmm.
She's a witch.
Cool. Yeah. So how do you know Quellen? Is it kind of like a family connection there, or is there?
Yeah, I feel like she got introduced through her parents as she got into the shop a lot, and she just bonded with her because they're both dabbling in the arcane arts.
Yeah. Cool. Maybe you helped her get a familiar. Yes.
Yeah.
Specialize in the black hat trade. Yes. Cool. And then so we got.
Should we do a quick break and then we'll come back and then Jay Wall can have his go and hopefully Dale will be here maybe.
Yeah, and then we can cover the remaining voices we haven't done as well, and that'll be good.
Yeah.
And the crew.
and then we'll move on to the crew. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, yep, we'll be back in a second.
All
right, we're back. So Jay will need to do his character now.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so you were a spider, if I recall.
Yep.
Okay, so where's your spider from?
From Tycheros as well.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And what's your background?
So he's a noble, would have been the heir to his family.
Cool.
Before he got exiled.
Cool. Why did he get exiled?
His brother wanted to take control.
There it
so he
is.
schemed to get rid of him, and it worked.
So you're the victim of a
Yep.
sibling rivalry. Yeah. Nice. And cool. So so what makes you? What's your sort of demonic weirdness? What's the thing that makes you obviously Taikarosi?
I suppose, yeah, is that if you would see him walking around, right, his shadow is separated from his body. It follows him further behind.
Cool.
Oh, I thought you'd be a pigeon. That was from a joke off camera.
Cool. So yeah, what about being Taikarosi gives you an action point?
Yeah, so as Tychros is quite demonic, and I'd say by association also goes along with ghosts.
Yep.
I have a point in a tune.
Cool. And your nobility, your noble background.
Yep.
What does that give you?
So that gives me. I'm just double checking which one it was. I'll choose. I think I chose sway for that.
Okay, cool.
So as a noble, I'm used to putting on I suppose, like lying to people convincingly and getting them to see my view.
Yeah. And also, you're used to doing that with just general people rather than like close friends. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So I guess your special ability then.
Oh yeah. Just so I put my other 2 points in. Study and survey.
Cool. Yeah. So we've got quite a lot of studying going on in this group. Everyone likes to examine things and work out, solve the problems. Yeah.
So my special ability is foresight.
Cool.
Which I suppose I should have foreseen my brother stabbing me in the back, but
yeah, I guess that's what gave you the impetus to become a spider, perhaps, is to plan ahead and be in control of the situation. Is that
make sure it doesn't happen again?
Yeah.
Or maybe you did foresee it, but there was nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, maybe that's why you're alive instead of laying at the bottom of the Inkback Sea. It's you got the hell out of there.
I saw it and decided to
Just
kind
fuck
of
the
also be a
shit
bit
on out.
so that it wouldn't completely ruin me, and got exiled as a result. Yeah.
Cool. So, who's your friends and enemies?
My close friend is Algus, who's a master architect. That is by he assisted me in, I guess, my escape.
Oh,
he was a friend over in Tychros, and he helped me kind of work my way out of Tychros.
Yeah.
Through the city streets and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so he's quite a close friend then. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my enemy is Salia, who's an information broker. And she was working with my brother to obtain more information to use against me.
Yeah, so a bit of bad blood there then. Mostly one-sided though. I mean, because I guess she doesn't really care about you either way. It's just information, but yeah, obviously you're no fan. So
I would think she's being paid quite handsomely.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
For her, it was Thursday.
Yeah.
Name change to M. Bison.
Yeah.
My vice is faith. and it is Illicil at ruins of temple to forgotten gods in Coleridge. So I worship demonic gods.
Cool.
I think that they assist me and support me in being a whisper. A spider, rather.
Yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, my name, alias, and how I look. So my name is probably the most awkward out of anyone's, I think, so far.
It's not like you, Joe.
No, to be fair, normally in RPGs, I'm quite straightforward with names. Numenera was an exception. I got no apostrophes this time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Fuck
me.
Okay, I had one just for James. I'll even add. I won't add any. I am Zavuso Veroci,
Cool.
which is I guess, kind of an Italian name.
Mhm.
And my alias, I'm between two. I can't decide whether I want to be the exiled Raven or the exiled Eagle.
I've already got Raven.
Do we have Raven?
What peacock?
Yeah.
Well, it's a noble bird, is it not? They usually use them in, like, you see them in, like, gardens all the fucking time, don't you? Like manor houses, they've always a peacock in a...
Assholes.
Okay.
They steal your sandwiches.
You know what? It'll be exiled peacock.
Nice. Master sandwich thief.
I can just see us calling you Peak for short. And people are like, where the hell did that name come from? And then it's just the long fangled story.
You can also go with the other end if you're angry.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or you could call yourself Phoenix, because, you could rise from your ashes.
Yeah, that's quite thematic. Since you're...
I'm still gonna call you Peacock.
Yeah.
Peacock. And I'll change how I was going to look to be that, because it was going to be that I had, like, white hair. But I know Fox was thinking about white skin. So I'll have peacock hair.
Like peacock feathers, like with like full on like eyes in your hair. Nice.
Like all multicolored and like feathers. Like that.
Mm. That's really nice.
Flamboyant.
And usually his male character usually dresses quite well dressed, suit, waistcoat. Oddly enough, has some glasses that are just bright white lenses that he just wears all the time. Yeah.
Is that so people don't see his like peacock eyes, like bird eyes?
They're really small.
I don't know if I'll do bird eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just likes to wear them.
Fair enough. Cool. So I think there's a couple of people we didn't do devices for, and Fox, you still needed to come up with your looks, didn't you?
So what I've written for my looks is feminine, well-to-do, young and dark-haired, and then I just need to add the porcelain skin, literal porcelain skin.
Cool. So
yeah, that's all there now.
Nice. And your voice was that was going to be...
Yeah, so for Vice, I've gone for weird. The purveyor, I can't remember what her name is now. The purveyor is Salia, who is a spirit of the reconciled and moved from body at whim to whim.
That's fun, because Salia is also someone's information broker, so that he hates.
But this spirit, my connection with the spirit and what I get her to do for me, or rather what Meredith gets her to do for her. Meredith's Vice is being possessed by the ghost and basically having the ghost yell at herself, I guess, or something. She likes to get possessed. Is basically the Vice.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's in the category for sure.
Yep. Cool. So who else hadn't come up with advice yet? I think.
I don't think I had.
Okay. Cool.
I was thinking of making my character. I don't think I've said her name yet either.
No, I don't think you
I
have.
was thinking of calling her Anaya, and last name Bestia,
Cool.
and her alias would be Sparrow.
Cool. Yeah. So we've definitely got a
I'll
bird
keep
thing.
with the
I
bird.
love this bed.
I had something else. I was gonna name her Critter before, but I thought I'll join the bird squad.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of her her vice as being like she likes buying fabrics and she makes her own clothes with it. So she'll just spend all her time in Dunridge and Sons, and she'll like spend her days knitting and crafting.
One heck of a voice.
Just aggressively at a sewing
Yeah,
machine.
exactly. Compulsive.
I will make this skirt
Yeah.
pretty.
Just like
Basically.
you overindulge, and they find you a week later, like just open the door to like where you're stashed, and just like all of this
Yeah.
knitted like
Exactly.
thing just
I've
swings out
knitted
the
you a
door.
scarf, and it's like Doctor Who length.
Yeah.
Good kill image.
Exactly. So if anyone needs some clothes, just get me a lot of stress.
We need some new disguises. Quick, stress Sparrow out.
Cool. I think that's everyone done then.
I haven't done my vice.
You haven't done your voice.
No.
Okay. Cool.
I can't decide if I want gambling or obligation.
Obligation could make
I mean,
sense to you because
you
like
could-
your family.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
what I was-
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will go with obligation. I've got to pay for my parents. I guess keep them in their little home or something.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying. By the way, what?
It's just that I was. Yeah, I still didn't say my character's name. He is Ejek Sobieski, and he goes by the name of Gale Redtooth. It's more like Gil Redtooth, and the alias can still be changed, but that's the idea I was going for. And he is bearded, huge, and he has a hat. He's not tall, but he's very big, like
Bulky.
not like an athletic kind of bulky, which makes him seem bigger than he actually is. And as far as my advice goes, again, it's Stupa for those that don't so it's set in stone now, and yeah, the you can usually not see his hat, so he looks like he's just a hat and a beard essentially.
That's funny.
Yeah, he needed a little bit of humor. If not, he'd be like way too. I have PTSD. Yeah.
Does anyone else need to do their vices?
Think we're done, aren't we?
No, but I've set for a name, so my character is going to be called Josef Kajuric. So guess what name, what the inspiration was?
I don't know.
I honestly don't know either.
No one played Bloodborne. Oh,
No.
Oh, I've seen a playthrough of Bloodborne, but I didn't really.
Yeah, same.
it's the person who like stabs people with needles
Oh, that's pleasant.
Nice.
Again.
and gives you
Keeping
blood.
with the pleasant theme too.
She gives you blood.
That's nice.
Fair enough. Cool. Right. So I guess Dale's not showing up at this point. So
Yeah.
we should probably move on to the crew.
Okay.
Okay, so there's 6 different kinds of crews that you can be. Now there's
Bye.
assassins, which should be fairly self-explanatory. There's bravos, which are sort of mercenaries and thugs. They extort people. They they'll go out and basically hired mercs. They'll go out, beat people up, or straight up kill them for potentially for cash, sabotage, smash and grabs, that kind of thing. There's cults, which are sort of acolytes of a forgotten gods. They'll try and acquire artifacts and consecrate things and perform sacrifices and stuff in the name of their god. There's hawkers, which are basically vice dealers. So grab products, sell them. You'll make shows of force and to make sure that people back off your turf so that they know that this is who we sell to. You don't sell to them. Get into social events and stuff like that to expand their market, that kind of thing. There's shadows, which are like thieves and spies. They do burglaries and espionage, robberies, sabotage, that kind of thing. Then there's smugglers, which are pretty self-explanatory. They transport contraband, sort of clandestine deliveries, territory control. They're also the most likely of the crews to want to go outside of the city, though, which is incredibly dangerous. So, does any of those pique anyone's interest?
I mean, with all the whispers and leeches, sounds like cult to me, but doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could totally go down that route and focus on the arcane aspects of if being in a cult interests everyone. I mean, there's whispers are, especially since the amount you've got. They're quite versatile characters anyway, so you don't necessarily have to be arcane focused. For example, with your arcane focus, you could decide to tie that into hawkers or smugglers quite easily as well. Maybe one of the things you do is you smuggle ghosts or demon blood or weird arcane artifacts. Or
I can see us be
hawkers
hawkers because we have so much different things that we could provide to people if they have the money.
Yeah, totally.
You can also go into smugglers then, because it's also kind of like a merchant sort of thing.
Assassins almost works for having a large number of whispers too, because you have to killing people creates ghosts, and ghosts are a problem. So if you can control them, then or deal with the more supernatural aspects. Hell, you could go and assassinate ghosts. You could be
you could pull someone's ghost out.
You could be the people when people need to get rid of ghosts or supernatural entities. They come to you.
So we're the Ghostbusters?
Yeah, you could literally be the Ghostbusters.
People, ghosts and all.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing with Bravos as well. Just because you've got a lot of whispers, it means you've got a lot of flexibility in terms of dealing with more supernatural type threats. So, you could extort. You could even use ghosts to do extortion. For example, we're going to make sure your place is haunted. We're going to we're going to mess your stuff up by unleashing supernatural terrors. Unless you give us money. There's lots of ways that you can apply whisper skills. So don't necessarily feel like you're tied to any one thing just because you're whispers or whatnot. So we've had cult as thrown out as an interest. Is there anything else other people are interested in?
I
Not play cult.
I prefer not cult as well.
Fair enough.
Personally.
Okay.
I think with the group of people we've got, hawkers and shadows kind of make the most sense. Because there's quite a large number of us are quite academical.
I kind of like the idea of being hawkers and just getting all these weird things to people.
Yeah, me too. Something with Leviathan blood, or maybe it gives your ghost a tingly feeling.
Yeah, I mean, being hawkers, you're vice dealers, so it's generally things that people are addicted to or they need, and they're really contraband. So it's
Yeah.
so it could be that you've created a drug with demon's blood or spirit essences or something that you push out. I mean, maybe your market is ghosts. Maybe you deal drugs to ghosts.
I do also like the.
It's like,
I also like the
like
idea of
memory.
smugglers as well, though. I do like that as well.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, I mean, smugglers.
Selling memories, like trying to distill the memories of ghosts, if that's even possible.
Selling ghost memories. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
that sort of reminds me a little bit of iZombie, where if the zombies eat the brains, they get the memories of the person whose brain they've eaten.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I am preparing brains, but like in a cocktail or something. So
Space,
it's
like-
Space Marines
like
do that as well,
ugly.
just so you know.
But
Yeah.
sort of
Wait.
just
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I
Yeah,
like that
just-
idea.
selling ghost memories as like a contraband or a drug
yeah.
would be quite cool.
Yeah, cool.
Mhm.
As like some sort of escapism for the client,
Wow.
or to like gather information.
I
or-
feel like we're in Shadowrun now, and we're selling like better than life stuff. Yeah, enjoy this virtual reality. It's actually just a memory, but it's a virtual reality. Enjoy.
Would you like some BTLs, my fellow children?
Yeah.
Bacon,
Well, I
lettuce,
guess-
tomato. Yeah, I'll have one of them.
Is there anything else anyone's particularly excited about, like
Uh,
out the list?
Well, with the whole like selling memories, that might be quite cool. I don't know what I'll be
Yeah, I
any
like
use.
that.
I mean, unfortunately, I'll be no good to anyone.
Well, everyone's quite useful in this. I mean, as the where is it? As the lurk. I mean, one, you're going to have to get things from somewhere. Like there's no chance that you're going to be able to, one, afford all of the equipment you're going to need, and two, like a lot of the stuff that you need to create things, stuff like that, is going to be like just straight up contraband. Like so sneaking it about, like stealing it. Plus, you're not working in a vacuum here. There's a whole bunch of other factions at work trying to do things. I mean, you're all going to start off with basically no turf, operating in somebody else's turf effectively. So even if you're not, a lot of your scores aren't necessarily going to be just about selling stuff. It's going to be about surviving and expanding your territory and stuff like that. And there's going to be lots of opportunities for you to use everyone's abilities, both as as a lurk, as a leech, as a whisper, as a cutter, as a spider. They're all going to come into play. So, I mean, don't necessarily. I mean, hell, even directly in sales, like being a lurk is useful. I mean, you in particular have got some skills in consort and sway, so you know how to talk to people, you know how to convince people of things, and also the whole finesse and prowl thing. You're good at finding places where you can make clandestine deals and stuff like that. So,
Picking
yeah,
locks.
picking locks. Maybe you need to break into a place to plant some stuff to frame someone so that you can get them out of the way so that you can deal with other things. There's all sorts of situations that will come up that will
All right, cool.
support any kind of skills that are available. So, but is there something like, I mean, is it like the Hawker thing, like something you're really excited about, or is there something else that really speaks to you that you're quite interested
Well, no, I'm quite excited about the Hawkers. I was also quite excited about what was the other one that we were looking at? Was it
Smuggler.
Was it Smuggler?
Yeah,
I mean, the only thing with Smuggler though is I'm already playing a Smuggler in another game, so maybe not Smuggler.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Or Shadow. I like the idea of Shadow, I like the idea. In fact, I like every idea that people put forward. So,
Yeah.
so perhaps I'm not the
Very
one.
easy going.
I'd like. Can we tick? Oh, can we do that? Is that no?
Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is, as a crew, like I mean, you're going to have a focus that is a thing that you focus around, but you'll be doing all sorts of different things. So, Yeah, so don't feel like, oh, we're a cult, so we'll literally never steal stuff, or we'll never go and murder anyone, or we'll never smuggle anything. It's like, no, you're just known for being a cult, but you may do any of these other things. Like, it's just that it's kind of like that's where your reputation comes from. So, so don't feel like you're limited to being whatever the label is. It's a label that other people put on you to more than anything else. So it's.
What about everyone else's?
So,
what about Jaywall? He hasn't said a thing as usual. Jaywall, what's your suggestion? Do you have a suggestion?
I like the idea of cult, but I know a few people don't like the idea. My 3 would probably be cult, hawker, or shadows.
Yeah, I think cult's really the only one that people have like hard vetoed, really, isn't it? It's you got 2 people who like really aren't into it. Yeah, which is fine. So yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I've played a cult once, and it was fun, but it was very different. I found to play to any of the other crew types that I played. Yeah. So I can say it's not for everyone.
So what have we got it narrowed down to? Hawkers.
So we've had a lot of interest in hawkers and smugglers and shadows as well to a certain degree. Nobody's really seems particularly or even mentioned like assassins or bravos, so I don't think there's really a lot of interest for that, right?
I like them bit as well, and it seems like everybody else is going more for the hawkers, and I already love that idea. So,
Should we do the hawkers idea then?
Yes, yeah. It seems to be what everyone's kind of converging on. So,
Yeah.
Are you alright with that, Jaywall?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So,
Are we going with that whole like what were we talking about before the
The
memories?
dreams
Ghost memories, yeah.
yeah, I mean, we don't have to necessarily define it now. We can kind of play to find out what it is you do. You might, you start off with very little in terms of resources anyway. So a lot of it is going to be down to, well, we've got these skills. Let's try and steal some stuff or make some stuff or whatnot to try and figure out how to best use them to make some money selling some stuff. It's so you may end up developing this memory stuff or like over time, or maybe you'll start off with some a bunch of people working together to go like, we know what it is we want to do, let's make this happen. Or maybe you'll stumble upon it by accident because of some other heist or score or something. Who knows? We don't have to tie ourselves down to any particular thing. So let's play to find out.
I just like the idea because like corpses are relatively easy to get to. It's a cheap material for a drug that we could deal out. Just grab the ghosts out of them.
I mean, corpses can be quite difficult to get to in the setting, just because when people die, they're typically dissolved in electroplasmic energy so that their spirits don't rise. Yeah. So, if a body, so they tend to try to be collected up fairly quickly so they can be disposed of to stop
we pretend to be undertakers.
Yeah, I mean, that could be very much a thing. You could try and
pretend to be undertakers.
Yeah.
It's like the legitimate business.
That's all.
That is our cover business, yeah.
Yeah, that could be fun, yeah. I mean, again, starting off as like a tier 0 crew, you're going to have very little in the way of resources. So, starting off, you're likely...
we have a taxidermy where we stuff them.
But yeah, you could. So we're going with hawkers. Okay. So I guess what's the name of your crew?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Has to be something bird related, huh?
Birds of a feather.
All
right, Tracy.
I mean, your hawkers, your birds, the hawks.
Bird brains.
I mean, I would have suggested the carrion, but we're not all carrion birds.
Yeah, like I make the things you eat.
Yeah.
Bird related.
Uh,
Where do they put birds? What are they called?
What do you mean?
Aviaries.
oh,
How about the
Properly.
aviaries?
It could be like the aviary or
Or the rookery.
yeah.
Is that specifically for something else?
That's for usually for messenger birds.
Catch
Uh-huh.
that pigeon.
Would
Maybe-
birdcage be a bit too literal?
I think so. Maybe a little bit.
Bird
mean, you
Watchers
also-
Anonymous. There we go.
what about something that's like a singing bird that drinks some sort of nectar?
What, hummingbird?
Well, they don't. Hummingbirds don't really sing.
Like the nightingales or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nightingales is
Something
cool.
like that.
But then I feel like that's like Skyrim,
Yeah,
though.
I think of Skyrim.
Yeah.
I don't know the reference in that. Because yeah, it would be like the nectar's drugs and the singing is the peddling for the sell of drugs. This, whatever. So
The mockingbirds.
Yeah. Another one, another fun bird is like the cuckoos. Like you push,
Yeah, I was thinking about
push
that
the other birds out of their nest, take their place. You know, so-
Yeah.
which is effectively what you're going to be doing because you start with nothing, so you're going to have to push other people out of their nest.
Or like magpies as well.
Yeah, but I'm Magpie. You can't steal my name.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could call yourself some magpies. I mean, if you could say that. I mean, who founded this crew? Like, who was like original founding members and who kind of joined later?
I feel like the founding member would make most sense if it was Jay Wall's character because he's the rich guy, so maybe he's paid us all to work for him.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're the spider, so bringing people together to enact a plan is kind of your thing. So
Yeah. It works.
yeah, so I guess let's see. Don't know whether there's any. I mean, it could just be something like bird related, like the feathers or something like that. It doesn't have to necessarily be a bird or
Or the
Specific.
talons.
the talons is quite
Ah.
nice.
The Talons, I quite like that.
Yeah.
Actually, the Talons.
yeah,
The
yeah.
harpies.
Yeah, yeah, quite like that as well. I mean, I guess so. Put it to a vote. I mean, who wants what's the consensus here? I mean, sounded like quite a lot of people like Talons. Or the
Talons is
Talons.
good.
Talons? But people like Talons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alright, we'll go with Talons.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always change your name anyway as your reputation changes.
Kevin.
So
That's what we're
Yeah.
going to change it to. Kevin.
The other thing is we might have to change it to get heat off us as well.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Start
obviously
operating under a different
you'll
name.
damage your reputation if you change your name because obviously you're now operating under a different thing.
We're all obviously gonna end up as the porch pigeons. So yeah, obviously, that's that's like the end
Horny
goal.
pigeons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Horny pigeons.
We're not talking about your voice, James.
It's just what I saw. It's just an observation. It's nothing more.
Right. So I guess we need to pick the like what's your initial reputation. So there's a couple of choices. You can be known as being ambitious, brutal, daring, honourable, professional, savvy, subtle, or strange. Now, there's probably a couple that stand out there given the makeup of the group. But yeah, what do you guys want to be known for initially? Yeah.
Stranger professional.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least Josefka wants to be seen as professional, even though it's probably not really.
They probably turn out not to be. Because it will hit the fan and go everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone has to clean after me every night.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Hmm.
Mm. I'm fine with whatever for this one, I think.
So ambitious, brutal, daring, honourable, professional, savvy, subtle, and strange.
Yeah.
Oh God! Do we only
Which
get
one do you
one?
think? Yeah. I mean, obviously your reputation will change over time, but this is kind of like what's your initial? What do people initially think? Of
I
you?
think they think. Well, we're new, but maybe they think we're professional. Was that what people said? Was that what people?
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave me on mine.
Yeah, professional or strange.
Yeah.
Strange is surely not a good thing, is it? Oh, maybe it is strange because why do they want the corpses? Why do they want the
Why,
corpses?
why are they pretending to be undertakers?
Yeah.
And this is we're weirding. We're like selling weird stuff, and we're all weirdos, and like we're full
Well,
of OC.
well, you know, leave me out of that.
No, the thing is, if we want to have that kind of clientele, then we do want the reputation that we sell strange things.
Well, yeah, indeed. Yeah, if you're selling
Yeah.
strange stuff to strange people, you probably want to be seen as being strange yourself. So they're like for like. But
Yeah. By the way, who's our target demographic? Demographic and general like
Road
societal
lovers.
group.
Rich cultists? and
Probably,
nobles?
yeah.
I mean, again, we can kind of play to find out. I mean,
Mhm.
you guys will be starting with very little, so it'll be whoever you can find to start off with. But you may want to try and focus on a specific demographic as you develop yourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Well, if people want to go for strange, we'll go for strange.
cool. Strange it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so next up is that we choose like your lair. So because it's tier 0, it's going to be like some very modest or potentially like an abandoned place. So I mean, a good place to start is thinking about where in Duskwall you actually are going to want your base of operations to be. Now, I mean, a common default type place to go is Crowsfoot because it's kind of the district that's most known for like street gangs and like obviously criminal activity. But equally, if you're going to try and position yourselves as dealing to a slightly more elite customer, then potentially you want to try and be in a more upmarket place. But considering you have nothing, you're going to be in some like derelict, like knocked down building or something, or something like that. If you're going to try and upmarket it.
Mm-hmm.
What about 6 Towers?
Oh, that's
6 Towers, a formerly rich district, now worn down and dilapidated.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
Because I mean, if this drug kicks off, we probably want to aim for like the rich.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. We could also go for Silkshore though.
Silkshore, the Red Lamp district. What? Okay.
Yeah, pretty criminal. Not that secure. A bit wealthy.
Are we still going with the idea that we are like a undercover undertaker front?
Yeah, I mean, you might struggle to pull that off in like a richer part of town just because you won't have the resources to actually be running a front to start off with.
Well, it could be the aim.
But-
That could be the aim. I mean,
That could be the goal.
Do we have to have a front to start? Is that?
Well, no,
part-
you will not have a front to start off with. Basically, you're not strong enough established to be able to afford to do that.
There
yeah.
we go. I mean, that's the goal. The goal will be to eventually like set up pretend undertakers, and then the people that go to these. I don't know. Someone else suggest something.
That would be really hard to. Well, I'm thinking of this as more like trying to make sense of the world on the map, because 6 Towers and Silkshore are on like opposed sides of the city. and it would be kind of hard to maintain both of them. And I think that like in the end games, Silk Shore would be a cooler place to have the gang be at.
Why? Why would
Maybe
it make
that
it?
or Night.
Why would it make it cooler? Because why'd that make it cooler?
Well, like just from reading the pages, like the atmosphere seems more like an insanely capitalistic underground society, like micro society inside of the thing where people are doing all sorts of weird stuff with their vice.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to be hawks there because it's kind of like a place of vice. Like Silk Shore is kind of like the indulgent area where people go to cater to all of their pleasures and needs.
Okay.
So if you're providing a new one, because your hawk is there, then it you've kind of got clientele.
Yeah.
But then we've got more. But then we've got more opposition, though, haven't we? That's the thing.
You have opposition no matter where you go. Because everywhere is owned by a faction. Basically, there is nowhere that you basically the only way you're going to be carving out space from yourself is by taking that space from somebody else. Yeah. So
I did say interesting, not easier. Or
yeah.
I
mean, Nightmarket might be another good place, though.
True. Nightmarket's also a very nice pick. Because like that's the shadier part. Like it's Silk Shore, but it's shadier, which is also kind of nice because, well, it just gives off. Well, it's also Nightmarket is the best place to trade illicit and arcane goods in the city, but the darker corners are full of strange horrors. You can take +1 to a card and set here and the cost of distress. So essentially, like, what I was looking at was is the best place to trade illicit and arcane goods.
Which sounds basically what you're doing. Yeah.
Like it's an illicit arcane good in the city. Yeah. So yeah, it totally fits.
Yeah.
So I guess what Nightmarket or Skillsoft? Skillsoft? I think that's Shadowrun again.
Yeah, that's a Shadowrun thing. Yeah.
Skillshore.
Silkshore. Yeah.
Silkshore. Yeah, I'll get it right one day.
It has some of the same letters. It's fine.
Everyone?
Yeah.
I am for the market personally. I like the idea of dealing with various things.
You've also got access to the trains out of the city through the Nightmarket area as well. So
that's true. I didn't think of that. That's very well.
Which provides some interesting opportunities potentially. So
very true. J-Wall, you've been very quiet.
It's J-Wall.
J-Wall.
You'll get used to it.
Before.
I'm looking over the different places.
Yeah.
And Nightmarket seems good.
All right. I'll vote for Nightmarket as well.
Cool. So yeah, you're Lair in the Nightmarket. I mean, the Nightmarket's kind of going through like gentrification at the moment. So it's there's a lot of like places that are being knocked down and having new fancy places built on top of them. So I guess what kind of Lair do you want? I mean, given your tier 0 levels of
What page are the options on?
93.
Yeah, I mean, you can create your own one, but like a couple of suggestions are like you might be like in a half sunken grotto in the underground canals.
So what about if so you're saying it's going through a lot of renovation, like places being knocked down, new places. What about if our place is sort of in the next soonish it's going to get knocked down, so we need to make money fast so we can put our own place there maybe or something? I don't know. Does that make any sense? So we need to, maybe we've got a time limit. Well, I don't know. Does it make
A junked rail car sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Particularly as we're near the railway.
Yeah, that makes total sense actually. You could be in a disused rail yard. You've like got some disused rail car that you're
Actually, I have an idea. What if we became friends with an undertaker, and basically what we do for rent is we take care of ghosts for them?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it is. You operate out of the back rooms of an undertaker.
Yeah, so we get
And,
their back room for our operations.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like we're even going for like an old like those big family tombs which have like a bunch of generations of the same family, and it's
like a proper like mausoleum type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like a really, really big family that has been around for a while, like maybe the Kinklates or something. And then they because like some family that's going through a rough patch at the moment, and so we're taking advantage of that.
It could do something like that. Well, I guess so. What we've had a couple of ideas bounced around. Like, is there anything that's sort of really leaping out at someone?
I still quite like the idea of the rail car, but I do like the Undertaker one because that saves us from making a front. If we befriended him, we use his back room.
I mean, it also makes you vulnerable though because you're not in control of him.
And that's the interesting part.
But also like very troubling. But then again, it is interesting.
But eventually we could off him and, run the Undertakers ourselves.
Wow, off him.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be in my character's mind.
Another ghost.
I do like the rusted rail cart as well. I mean, they're both pretty cool locations.
I mean, you could combine both, where his Undertaker's thing is in like the bad part of town that's being knocked down, but he's only kept it running because it's a family business type thing, and there's like some old railway tracks like out the back of his shop type thing that has a rusted rail car in it, and you're operating out of that type thing. So it's not really connected directly to his business, but his business is just like kind of like next door type thing.
Are we operating out of his family's old dilapidated train?
Yeah, I mean, there could be like a combination of things where it's there's a good chance that like bodies were either shipped in or shipped out, like when especially during the war or something. Obviously, like large numbers of them needed to be shipped to a disposal facility to be rendered down so that the ghosts wouldn't rise. And he probably, in his heyday, this business probably helped a lot with that. But now that the war's has been over for 20, 30 years, like his business is basically gone straight to hell. And the train tracks they used to have directly to the back of his store basically entirely unused now and all rusted away and stuff like that. And so maybe that's where you're based now in this kind of dilapidated, failing Undertaker's business.
Sure. Oh,
and maybe that's why he's allowing us in the first place, because he needs some money.
Yeah, you give him some kitbacks and he can look the other way as you're operating sort of in the backyard type thing.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Cool.
Also, that to me that raises another question. What are what's the special ability we're picking? Like, I know this seems a little bit random, but I was thinking that if we have the good stuff, maybe he's hooked on it. Undertaker, that is.
Oh right, so you try and get him to be a user, and control him that way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's something.
I guess.
Yeah, that's something that can definitely happen. It's like I think we'll see what happens as we play it out. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I imagine that the situation you're in is tenuous at the moment because his shop front is probably owned by some other group at the moment, and kind of so he feels at risk even you even being there because this other group's not going to be happy about someone using their store. So there's probably some tension, but you've probably put a bit of pressure on him to make sure he doesn't squeal, but it'll be loose. No, actually, no, you have a stronghold at the moment. You start off with a stronghold, so no, you probably do have him under the boot. You have control over him in some way or another. So
Right now.
so it makes sense that it could be whatever it is you're peddling, this your sort of spirit essence or whatever that you've got him hooked on.
And we've already started to push this drug. Then is that already being established? Are we already pushing this whatever we're going to call it?
Or we're already producing a type of drug, but not necessarily the memory drug yet.
Yeah, you've managed to make knock off some cheap trash or something with like spirit essences or something you've managed to steal at some point in time or manufacture, and but it's not like you have a steady supply chain or a steady like factory constantly cooking this stuff. It's it's kind of in dribs and drabs at the moment.
Right.
So
That works.
cool. So I guess we established the hunting grounds. So this is going to be the area that you normally target for your scores, and you're going to know it, so you know it quite well. It doesn't have to be the district that you're actually in, but it's going to be like a small area, like a couple of city blocks. But it's obviously intruding on somebody else's territory. So,
Will we decide now whose territory that is?
well, you pick a place in the city, and we'll define who it is. Yeah.
Well, we'd probably want to work up to the rich fan base, as it were, and start off with people who are more gullible, easier to get hooked.
Mm-hmm.
You have to just get some first money in.
Yeah.
Well, so you'll probably be focusing in the night market itself, like the upper cluster people.
Well, we'd probably go more for the upper crust people when we've got an established shop, as it were.
Yeah. I mean, I guess because the night market is trying to raise itself up with this whole gentrification project. There's a lot of people that kind of want to kind of be upper crust people, but just aren't. And so there's a lot of people that are, trying to effectively pretend that they're better than others.
New money, yeah.
Yeah. So potentially it's those. They're kind of like the
good. They're the ones you want to target anyway.
Yeah.
They've got more money than sense.
Okay, so we say it's the night market. Let's see who's going to be a good people to be operating out of the night market at the moment. Factions. So there's going to be a couple of people that are going to be operating out of the night market at the moment. One of the stronger people in the area you're currently trying to take hold of is the fog hounds. They're actually a fairly weak crew, but they're stronger than you. So
well, everyone's stronger than us. We're
basically,
on the food chain at the moment.
Yeah, and the fog hounds are kind of like they're a crew of like fairly rough smugglers. They're kind of trying to secure a patron at the moment, but they're given that the night market's up and coming and they've got access to the rails, they're looking to make some names for themselves. And
I think that will be one of our first few targets. Is eventually, whatever, But first major thing that we want to get is those rails, don't we? Would that be something we want the trains?
Yeah, probably getting a connection with the trains is probably a good thing to be focusing on. So, given that you're treading on you're stepping on their turf, how are you dealing with the with this faction?
So they already know we're there.
Yeah. So, like, as a crew, you're going to start off with 2 coin, and the crew, like, so you can pay this faction 1 coin to kind of and they'll give you some room to work. They're not going to be annoyed. Like, they'll let you share their space. You could pay them 2 coin as a show of respect to say, like, we respect your holding this place. We're going to operate in the area, but here's like a tithe almost, and that will get you +1 status with them. Or you can just be like, fuck these guys, we're taking this place, and keep your money, but that will give you a -1 status with them.
The Foghounds.
The Foghounds, yeah.
I think this is probably like the lowest tier gang we're ever gonna find in this game. So I'm not seeing much reason to give away our hard-earned money.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, these guys are fucking pushovers.
We're currently pushovers.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Like, we can't just annihilate them. I'm being overconfident.
What we do is we decide, fuck them, and we sell their memories.
Oh, yes.
Damn, son.
I'm harvesting.
And then we get customer complaints about why they're having vivid visions of us killing them.
It's always gonna happen.
Bad
Cool.
batches happen sometimes.
All trips are gonna be bad trips with this stuff, because that's probably how we're gonna be getting it most of the time.
Okay, so you're just gonna.
We might even have people go, I want this specific memory, and you would have to go out and kill someone to get that specific memory.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that could be a thing. Like, we might have a gang come to us and say, our rival knows where this thing is that we want. Kill him and bring us the memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a reason why they're going to want to do that rather than just kidnap him themselves and torture the information out of him. But
the thing is, maybe they know that he wouldn't give the information up anyway.
Indeed, yeah. Like, torture isn't 100% effective. He could just lie, say anything to stop the pain.
Or die.
Yeah, or die.
He's in a coma in a protected hospital.
Yeah. There's
We'll get in
all
there.
sorts of reasons why they may want your services instead of just doing it themselves.
We're just giving you ideas
yeah.
on the plate.
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, so you're basically saying screw these guys. Where?
Yep.
Cool. So,
What's this boxy stuff mean?
so now we need to choose a special ability for your crew.
So I was just asking, what's all this boxy stuff mean?
Boxy stuff.
Yeah, so you got Lair and then it's surrounded by lighter greyer boxes.
Oh, right. So that's basically like how you're going to upgrade like your crew's claims. So as you expand your crew and the areas that you control, you can basically get upgrades by expanding into these different boxes. And like you don't have to do it how they connect. Like you could go, I'm just going to grab like informant straight away. It's just harder. Basically, it's easier to slowly expand following the kind of like the little box map than it is to just pick and choose things effectively. That's kind of what that's for.
I kind of feel like we should have the good stuff as our special ability.
That, or we could go for a veteran. I'm not sure if you even can do that at the first one.
No, you can't go for that first one.
Yeah, because I was just having fun with the idea of having the one from the assassins that makes the bells not ring.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
That would be
Um,
good.
On what page are these?
I'm just looking at them on the cruise sheet.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the
They're
cruise
on there
sheet.
already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if on Roll Trends you just open a cruise sheet, you can see the special abilities there.
I was using the book.
Oh, I see.
I mean, you're aiming effectively to potentially use ghosts as fuel to create these drugs, but potentially you could start off with actually dealing stuff to ghosts, and go ghost market. I mean, it says they can't pay you in coin. Maybe
That's
they
true,
pay you in
in other
part of their
ghosts.
essence.
Or part of the rest, yeah.
Yeah. Like, give up part of yourself, and
I
we'll
would
give you
say-
something. Yeah.
I would say good stuff or ghost market.
Yeah, one of those two definitely.
Yeah, I like
the
the
other thing
idea
is-
of good stuff too.
To a
Yeah.
demon, what's a little bit of blood? Hey, we'll give you this fancy drug that doesn't work on humans but does work on you guys if you just cut your hand and give us a little bit of your blood.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, no reason. It's fine.
Yeah. It'd be cool. Yeah.
Making them experience mortality. Like, that's a weird advice for a demon.
I want to be able to feel pain.
Not pain, just dread.
So what's people suggesting then for the special ability?
Either the good stuff or ghost market.
Hmm.
Oh god.
And I'm leaning towards good stuff, but Ghost Market sounds fun too.
Like, what are the options? Like, what could they pay in? Like, what, like items or?
Parts of them. was-
Information, potentially,
Information.
yeah, part of their own essence.
Memories.
Yeah. I mean, there's it's kind of like you define it. I mean, maybe a ghost could literally, like, okay, you go and steal something from us because you can literally go through walls, and
Right.
and we'll but you get it for us first, upfront payment, and we'll but they can't really pay you in physical items because they're weekly, like they only have a week interaction with the physical world, but they could go spy for you, or they could go or they just know things because of who they are or who they were, or where they hang out.
Yeah, I like the potential of that.
So just paying us in favours, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can also make them a hole, and they get in it, and we've got an army of ghost things on holes.
Hulls? What?
Yeah,
in the
hulls.
ground?
Yeah, no,
The
hulls.
hulls.
They're basically like kind of almost like mechs,
Oh, okay.
but they're driven by spirits,
Okay,
basically.
I thought we were getting them, pushing them into
Yeah,
holes.
I thought the same thing. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
now they're in a hole. What now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
That'd
that.
be
I could
funny.
make those for them. I guess the only question is, do we want to deal our drug to ghosts and demons? If yes, then we should go with that, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's another market.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the same drug, but we could sell them a drug.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you don't have to be a one-trick pony. You can have lots of
Dabble.
different things.
Maybe we could sell them a drug that gives them like a limited amount of feeling like they have a body again.
Hmm.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, funnily enough, when I played in a group of hawkers, we dealt exclusively to ghosts, and that was exactly the drug we
Oh, really?
manufactured. Was
Wow.
there? Yeah, we did we went straight for deal a drug that makes ghosts feel like they're alive, for like a short amount of time. So,
It's interesting.
I should
Lines and all
imagine you
that.
probably get quite a few ghosts hooked on that as well.
yeah, totally. Yeah.
So Ghost Market is then, yeah, I reckon?
Ghost Market.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So, you get some crew upgrades to start off with. So, you should have 2 already selected. Yeah, so secure and resolve. But you get to choose 2 additional ones.
Ooh. 2 additional ones. That is quite nice.
With J-Wall, if J-Wall's character arranged it all, maybe he could suggest some things that he likes the look of.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
put a
looking.
table on the spot.
I'm looking.
What are rooks?
I can't remember actually.
Rooks.
Like the animal?
Rooks. Yeah, I was thinking, is that the animal or?
No,
It just
it's
says elite fogs and elite rooks separately.
Oh, I think that like rooks were the guys who went scavenging and stuff.
Oh.
Ah, okay.
It's like a gang type of cohorts. Yeah, cohorts. Rooks are con artists, spies, and socialites.
okay. Yeah.
What I was talking about were the rovers. Seems.
Rooks could be useful for us.
True.
And they're birds.
Are they
They are
actually?
birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
A
on
rook
brand.
is another type
Yeah.
of carrion.
Staying on brand there. I mean, having a workshop's probably a good idea for you guys.
Yeah, I would also be inclined to say hidden.
In
But we're not hidden though, are we?
But we can get the hidden upgrade trait thing.
How would that work though? How would that narratively work?
Well, if we're in an abandoned train cart at the end of someone's garden, like
You're kind
You
of out
could-
of sight.
Yeah, maybe there's a whole bunch of like
it's massively
disused,
overgrown
like
or something.
overgrown, like broken,
Abandoned.
like rail
bit
cars
of
there, and you're just one of
Yeah, it could be
many.
a bit of
Like, yeah,
a bit of a rail car boneyard.
yeah, totally.
Hmm.
It's-
Sure. Well, if that's what you want to go for.
Sure, I'm fine with going by with hidden. Another one that would be cool would be personal.
What does that mean?
Training personal. It earn 2 XP when training playbook during downtime. So yeah, it's just a training thing, but it's a-okay.
I kind of like workshop though, since we do need to make things.
Yeah.
True. We'll go with workshop then.
Cool.
We've got 2, haven't we?
Yeah. So you've got one more you can go for.
I think Big Boss Man should decide the last one. What's Boss Man's vision?
Did we go for hidden? Did we not go for hidden?
Not right now. We went for workshop.
I don't think we should do hidden.
Okay.
I do like, I do agree with workshop anyway.
Yeah. Remember, you can choose the specific ones for your crew, or just the generic ones as well. So so you could go for like maybe you have contacts in prison, or you have hawkers rigging, for example.
Well, I was just thinking like an improvised medical ward to extract and deal with all these things in a chemical laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
Can we use the workshop for that?
Quarters could be a good idea.
Yeah, because at the moment you don't have a place. You can't like stay at your lair.
So
It's like
your
just
lair
where you work.
has living quarters for your crew. Without this upgrade, each PC sleeps elsewhere and is vulnerable when they do so.
Ooh.
So it's not only a meth lab; it's also where we.
It's also your hotel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but it could be like the second carriage. It doesn't have to be the same carriage, okay?
Yeah.
We can each have our own carriage.
We don't have to sleep in the fumes.
I assume only Josefka lives in the laboratory.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, you could do that then.
All right.
So, yeah. So what
It
are we
could be
going
like-
for?
It could be like, hey, if we did go quarters, it could be like you don't have to stay there, but the option is there.
Well, yeah, that's indeed. You're not bound to staying there. It just means that there's an option now that you can stay at the lair without.
Just means we've got a sleeper cart.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's gonna be the party cart now.
I do like how the idea of having a quarters there, because we can always add later, can't we? We can always add. To
Yeah.
it as
Well,
we go
you
along.
can always keep getting upgrades. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just what you
I
start
like
off
this
with.
idea.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
So we'll go with quarters as well then. So
I like how we gave J-Wall the option, and then he didn't get a chance to like go, I want this, and we just go, we just talk
Sorry,
over
Jay.
him.
Sorry, J-Wall.
Sorry, he doesn't talk at all.
So there's two things that these choices are going to impact. So two factions are going to have been affected by these upgrades. So one of them helped you get one of these upgrades. They like you and you get a +1 status with them. And if you want, you could give them a coin to repay their kindness and instead get a +2 status with them. And then the other one of the factions was screwed over when you got this upgrade. Like they don't like you at all, and they're at -2 status with you. So you could give them a coin to mollify them, and instead only have -1 status. So
Are these pre-established crews gangs,
Yeah,
or
these-
do we have
yeah.
to make them? Or
no,
are we
these are
making them up?
pre-established. No, these are existing factions.
So who's the ones that's happy with us?
Well, let's see. What would be a good one to
Well,
deal
it doesn't.
with?
It doesn't make sense for the other group to be pissed off because we got somewhere to sleep. It
My
would make
idea
more
is
sense
that
if they
we
were
got
pissed
the
off by
lab.
the workshop.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, I mean, the one that makes total sense for the giving you the sleeping quarters is the railjacks. I mean, they protect the electro trains.
Yeah.
So they probably are aware. They probably helped you guys sort out some of the get the parts and equipment and like beds from like an existing derelict like sleeper car or something, and brought it to your lair to help you guys out. And they're quite close by, like where the operate is out of. So, so that could make sense. So, yeah, I mean, do you want to go for the +1 with them, or do you want to give them a coin and go +2?
I suggest going +2.
I would suggest going +2 as well.
J-Wall,
Boss man,
go really quiet as usual.
Give him the money.
Okay, so you're down to 1 coin for your crew now, but you got a +2 with the railjacks, and they helped you set up your quarters. And I'll just make a note of what the fog. You're basically treading on the foghound's toes currently. Right, and so you're going to have a negative with people about your workshop. So I guess maybe you like raided somewhere and just took their stuff to set up your workshop or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That works.
Is there a list of all the people?
Yeah, if you look on 283, there's
Yeah.
a list of all of the factions on there.
What I was thinking was that the Grey Cloaks,
Oh, right.
they might just not like us because we're obviously dealing drugs, which will clearly have a very bad impact on the surrounding people.
Yeah.
And they're not at war with us per se, so they're just like very skeptical and generally like, what are
don't
you?
like us.
And they're like seeing that the railjacks are supporting us for some fucking reason, and they're just looking at us like, why are you helping the crooks?
Mm.
Like, these are fucking assholes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could work.
Or the blue coats too, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, and just like the blue coats definitely would have reason to dislike you. I mean, the Nightmarket's up and coming place.
Yeah.
It's
City-
trying to
City Council could dislike us as well.
exactly. Yep, City Council would definitely not be keen on their new fancy area. That's also the first place people see when they come off from the Imperial capital off the rails, off the trains into Duskwall, is to suddenly see this drug-addled mess So it's like it could be that you're ruining the entry point into the city from the capital, and we really don't like that.
If we stole from someone, we could have stolen from the Path of Echoes.
Yeah.
Echoes.
The Church of Ecstasy could hate us.
Yeah, maybe,
So the
as
Church
part
of
setting up.
the state religion, if there's such a thing, they honour the life of the body and adore the corrupted spirit world.
You guys are really high profile.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have just pissed off some very powerful people.
Are they really? Oh, are they too high?
I mean, like the city council are like a tier 5, so they're straight up like bad to hover in your bad books. Yeah,
they snap their fingers and you're dead. That's kind of like like just completely swarmed with blue coats. It was like investigator, the detective types. So you can bribe blue coats, but not those ones, and they just kick our asses. But then again, we're not really at war.
Yeah,
they just dislike us.
On -2, you'll be like, close to being able to be at war, but like they will actively mess with your plans if they know they're happening. Like, but they won't straight up like declare war on you. And then again, you could always pass, like, basically corruption, pass some coin back to the council, and you'll only be at -1 with them. It's like, for example. So, and the fact that you even have a relationship with them at all, that they even know who you are, means that you have an opportunity to turn that into a positive at some point. It's like, if you're nothing to them, then you're nothing. So it's like, so you don't really have a lot of opportunities with them.
That's true.
So, if you've got a bad reputation with them, at least you have a reputation at all. So it's like,
no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
Except when they kill you.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Because if you're a ghost, that's some opportunity right there.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to go with the city council? I mean, it's going pretty hardcore, but that's certainly makes things interesting. Yeah.
I don't know. I was just thinking of the Grey Cloaks before, because they're more like something that is someone that a group that would like have us on their radar, and they're clearly in the right here, but they're also like the vigilante justice types of the group.
Your mic just changed.
I just noticed. Right, back with the old one. Yeah.
Cool. Yep. Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
I mean, other people you could have dealt with potentially, or annoyed, or Sparklights. I mean, because they're the engineers that maintain the lightning barriers and stuff, which means they'll definitely be operating in and around the rail yards in the Nightmarket. They're pioneers of new technology and stuff. So
you're really quiet, Jay.
The Spirit Wardens seem like they'd be interesting.
Yeah, and they'd certainly be interested in you, given that you deal with spirits. So
another level 4 as well.
Yep.
You like our high levels.
Yeah, they're an option because we're like messing with their job.
Ooh, maybe the Inkrakers, like they're really having a go at us on the papers.
That makes it. Spirit Wardens do make sense, especially if we're pretending to be in an Undertaker as well.
True.
Yeah. I mean, Inkwings is a good one, actually. Like, it's not necessarily a direct conflict, but you've created a situation like that they can write about. That they're like dragging you guys to the muck because you've set up a workshop and now you're actually running some operation out. Like you're dragging the night markets down, and like, I mean, it's kind of good for them that they have something to write about.
Content,
but also it's potentially it's a distraction from other things.
Like everyone could be our enemy. Like even the reconciled, because they believe that the ghosts are kind of sacred, and we're kind of messing with that by giving them like the feeling of being human again, possibly with the other drug.
Yeah, I mean, the Reconcile being a bunch of ghosts that have maintained their sanity probably don't like the idea of you literally ripping apart ghost brains to like turn them into like memory juice, and they probably don't allow you, like particularly like you, messing up ghosts with drugs either. So that
If
would
they
make sense.
don't like us, then I lose my vice purveyor.
Not necessarily. Just because like them as a faction don't like you doesn't mean individuals are like all aligned. So, and also, you know, them not liking you much doesn't mean that they're not prepared to still sell you stuff.
It'll be marked up, of course, but
yeah, no mate rates, but you know.
They'll spit in your product, but still sell it.
Just spit on me before possessing me.
Yeah.
what do people want then? Let's just should we?
We got options, yeah. What's like attractive?
Do we want to go for someone crazily high powered, or do we not?
I think it's better to start a little bit lower
Yeah.
because I feel like otherwise we'll make it really difficult on ourselves.
But making it difficult gives us ample more opportunity to have a more enjoyable time. That's what I've discovered in most of these sort of games.
I mean,
That's
the more
true.
difficult it is, the more opportunities you've got for advancement as well. So,
Fine with all of them.
I don't know. Personally, I like Spirit Wardens or Path of Echoes, just because ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that we would want ghosts to be on our side. So.
Yeah, maybe we can convince all the ghosts to be on our side.
It could also be kind of funny to have like the crows, because they're like another gang
bird.
that's like us, and they're another bird. So it could be like a rivalry.
Ah, right. There could be like, you're stealing our thing.
Like we're taking over their turf. It's like a gang war.
Yeah, there's only room for one bird crew in
Yeah.
Duskwall.
There's only room for one nest in this town.
Okay, we're doing that. Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that's really good. I really like that.
Nice.
Sound.
I
They
just saw
are
the name
angry.
and I was like,
They are angry with us just because we're birds.
Do we get a dance off this one? Do we get to have a dance off?
Do we do a chicken
Do
dance?
the little bird dances.
Ah.
Right, you're gonna stick with the
Oh,
-2 with them, or are you gonna spend some coin to try and make things nice?
No,
I mean-
-2.
I
-2.
feel like
Right.
they're angry at us over something petty, so they can stick with their negative.
Just the
Well, we're
name. They
stealing
just
their-
heard our names.
we're stealing their turf too, right?
I think that J-Wall might agree with me on this. Maybe we're like giving the money just to delay things a bit so that we deal
No.
with the foghound.
Fuck it. No
Then
money.
we'll deal with it. So
Yeah.
money or no money?
And what
No
did
money.
you say,
Those
spooky?
dirty crows.
Oh, I don't remember. I just said so. My bad.
Okay.
You're all a bunch of reckless individuals. I love that.
Yeah, like with the foghounds, you were like, "Screw these guys, we're taking their turf," and then with like the crows, like, "Screw these guys, we're taking."
We're taking their
Very
theme.
confident.
Where have you written this stuff?
I'm currently writing it in a note.
Okay.
I will
Right.
share it with everyone. But, yeah, there should be a factions note that's shared with everyone.
Mhm.
Right, so there's a couple of other things that we need to do for crew.
Angry over the name.
Yeah. So
Because the thing is like a theme is part of the reputation. They might feel like we're stealing their reputation by sticking into the bird theme. Like we're, well, not necessarily stealing it, but if we've got the association with birds, then we're almost like jumping off the back of their reputation.
yeah,
Basically, everyone thinks they're dealing drugs now instead of their usual thing, and they're like, "No, we don't deal drugs. We're good criminals."
Good criminals.
We
Like
take
a
care
bit of an
our-
Italian mafia. Don't do drugs. Don't deal drugs. Don't touch drugs. Those are evil.
I mean,
It's,
it says an old gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like
They do games of chance and extortion rackets. They're basically Yakuza.
Or like the Italian mafia.
They're like being these nice criminals who are like taking care of their neighborhood, and suddenly everyone thinks they're dealing drugs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
And they're
Yeah,
like, who the fuck did that?
Oh, maybe they think we're like a subsect of them.
yeah, it's like chances are that's
Inspired.
they just think that you guys are related to them in some way, and so anything bad you do reflects badly on them, and anything good you do also reflects badly on them, because they have no idea what happened. Like, they can't talk about it or really claim anything about it, because they don't know what happened. Like, it's you guys that are doing stuff.
Yeah.
So they're always kind of caught out whenever their reputation kind of gets thrown back at them from what you do. So I guess so you've just got your crew contacts now. So so there's going to be so you choose which of those contacts is like a close ally, friend or partner in crime with your crew.
Well, we've got our rich leadery man. It could be.
Was which until he had to flee.
Well, sir.
Yeah.
Well, he never said that he didn't bring any of his money with him.
I didn't bring any of my money with me.
There we
God
go.
damn it. But
Established
still,
now.
you're
Thanks, J-Wall.
you still got status, so it could be that you know the magistrate, and that would also work
Well,
very well in our favour.
He's got
Well, they
status
would
until
have to be-
until he says he didn't bring any status with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
And they might be on his brother's side too.
That's true.
Yeah.
But then
But
that
it
could,
might
that
just
could
work like the other way that you intended.
Look, I'm just saying, if they're not on our side, we sell
them.
them.
We sell
if they're
them.
not on our side, we sell them.
Them
we
to
can
who, Jay Will?
literally sell people.
We
Oh,
sell the
shit.
memories back to them.
Yeah.
And get them just stuck in like a Groundhog Day endless loop.
I mean that'd be a good
Oh my
that'd be a
God.
good invention though, wouldn't it? We'll be able to implant
Oh, a
false
torture
memories.
device.
Being able to
Give them like a torture device as well.
we could invent like false memories and
There's so many opportunities with these, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll take your son, I'll take his memories, and I'll feed you those memories.
Or
Wow.
create false memories. Create false
Well, we've
memories
gone
so that
very
they become
dark.
convinced that their child has been kidnapped.
We're playing
what's your
those
character? What's your
installments.
character?
You've been nice. I would have like made it that their child is getting butchered in front of them.
Wow,
The proper torture.
wow.
Nice.
Oof.
I love the fact the crows are angry over the name. It's great.
Cool. So who do we want to go with for contact then?
I think
That's another one of these crews.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got the magistrates, you've got the blue coats, the deal broker, the smuggler, the Latans, and the
Does it
gang.
tell us any more in this book about these guys?
No, we'll establish that in
Oh,
play.
okay.
I
think
just
the mag-
figure smuggler makes sense for getting items, but magistrate sounds I don't know, for like if you're gonna try and deal in high society.
Mm.
Well, he'd also be good if they get warrants. If there's such things as warrants, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like a blue coat also is useful for that.
Well, I've
and
got a
he's-
blue coat contact.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. So. Yeah, so having a magistrate, not necessarily in your pocket, but like who's friendly towards you, is would certainly be useful. Yeah, I mean, as you said, smuggler, that's useful. Gives you a lot of opportunities.
I guess they're all useful. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, they're all useful. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
What's
some
a dead diligent? What's that?
dilettantes. So they're kind of like a high society type person. They're inserted into a lot of parties and
I mean, that'd be good
Yeah,
to get.
they
I mean, that'd be,
they mingle with all of the upper crust. They know they know everyone and everything, and they've got money and stuff.
that'd be a good thing. I mean, that might work for future. Like, hey, you should get your friends to try this drug, or whatever. This party enhancer and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Party enhancer.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. Party enhancer.
Yeah, because like I'm not sure how much we need the smuggler friend if we're going to be using the ghost market in order to get more stuff.
Yeah, but as you remember, they can't take physical shit. So a smuggler would be able to get us physical shit.
Easier
True.
at least.
Yeah, that's that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, also a lot of the time, like these people aren't going to necessarily be able to get you anything, but they'll be able to create opportunities for you to go get things yourself. So it's, which is where most of the scores will come in. So that's also something to consider about who you want. I mean, the thing is, you have all of these contacts. There's just one of them that you're particularly close with. So,
My vote's going to go towards the magistrate.
I'm actually thinking about blue coat just because we have no way of dealing with the police at the moment.
We do.
We do?
Somebody's got a blue coat contact.
Hello.
Oh.
Yep.
I just said it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
That
to space
said-
out, sorry.
that said, it's only when you're available that you have that, because otherwise nobody else knows your contact. They're your contact. Like they don't care about anyone else. So if you piss them off, or if you're not around because you're on a bender or something, like your character's overindulged in the vice,
Okay,
then
sure.
now
yeah.
you don't have an option. So there's
That
there's
just
no
makes it more risky and fun.
there's no reason not to have multiple options. But it's up to you guys.
I like
So-
the magistrate as well.
I like the magistrate as well.
Yeah, me too.
He
Cool.
might even be better
Magistrate
at
it
dealing
is.
with the blue coats than the blue coat.
Yeah, I mean the good thing about the magistrate is that, like, you may allow yourselves to get arrested and go to court, and then he can basically just overturn it because of like some procedural error or something. He'll make up and go, oh, well, you can't arrest them. They're not going to jail. You're going to have to release them. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
Can't
So-
send it out. It was a false memory. Can't do
yeah.
it.
We've been
False
doing
memory
much
not
good.
admittable in court.
Cool.
Actually, that's
So-
really good if we had the good stuff.
We could just sell the memory drug to witnesses.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you sell the memory drug to witnesses, and they're like, invalid testimony. They're junky.
I mean, you could do it either way. You could sell the memories, or you could take their memory if you're a witness.
Yeah.
That is also true.
It
So
also raises the question: can we take memories of people that are still alive?
I guess we can play to find out, or we can define that now.
I think we'll play to find out.
Yeah.
God, I just thought of a stupid idea. I'm really
Oh
sorry.
dear.
Let's say it.
Murder She Wrote. We could do like a whole TV show of like just basically get someone to murder people and take their memories of it and then sell that memory like a novel.
Well, almost certainly there are some sick people that would who are too afraid to go and commit a murder themselves, but would love to experience doing it, and so you could sell them the experience, or
They just
equally,
gotta- They just gotta drink this blood cocktail and they can experience a murder.
or there's probably people who want to experience being murdered,
Oh.
but obviously don't want to die, and so you could
You
Someone might
weird
wanna-
kinky fucks.
yeah.
Seriously, someone might
mask
want to
is the world, like-
experience like they're getting eaten, but they can't really do it. Otherwise, they're dead.
Yeah, like,
No, let's not go there.
My character
like,
is all about
being
that.
choked
I
Yeah.
almost want to change my vice.
I can imagine some masochists being like, choke me, daddy, and until you die, but they're too like.
I mean,
small
wasn't that
not to
basically
die.
your character before Monty?
Oh, what? Oh, getting tortured? Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
choke me, daddy.
yeah.
All right.
So this contact, you have the magistrate. He's going to be there's going to be a faction that's friendly with him, and also a faction that's unfriendly with him. So, or if you want, the factions can be very friendly and really hate him. Yes. So we can either have a +1 and a -1, or a +2 and a -2.
I'm guessing
Um,
that costs gold again.
Nope.
But as a result,
Happens
like as a result, they'll have it'll be with your crew that they have the status because of your association with this person. So I guess who do we want to have a positive result with? Who's friends with the magistrate? I mean, this city council would make sense, or
City council.
To the council, yeah.
I like that idea very much.
I got very confused because I thought I heard someone say titty council then.
No. That's my
what
first
You're thinking of
preference.
you're thinking of the council in the red light district. That's what you're thinking of.
I mean, the Ministry of Preservation, perhaps.
Yeah, somebody's thinking about the pleasure purveyors, so like Madame Teslin with the red lamp brothel.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, Iron Hook Prison makes sense to have a good relationship with him. Or perhaps the Unseen. Perhaps he's part of a secret society or something.
City council or prison. I'm on that boat at least.
I'm for city council.
I think plus for the city council would be good.
Cool. Shall we go with a positive of the city council then? Does
Yeah.
that sound? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you want to go for the +2 and then have a -2 on someone, or do you want to just have a +1 as a result of this?
I'd say just a +1 personally.
Yeah. So the city council are reasonably positive about you, just because.
Is there anyone else for 2 maybe? Because we could use the city council.
True, and I wouldn't mind being at war with the Foghounds.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, what, you want to start off at war with the Foghounds?
Oh god.
Yeah, it gives you less downtime actions, but still, you can just like be awesome and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that could be your proper like upstart newcomers. You've just trampled all over their turf, and you don't give a shit. We're taking it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like our attitude was that from the start. So like,
Maybe not
Yeah.
start at war. Maybe let's ease into it and give people a chance.
They are a very weak crew.
Let's hype them up for war.
Yeah. I mean that's up to you. I mean we could double down on the Foghounds and go straight toward them if that's something you guys are interested in starting as.
I feel like it'll make for an interesting time, but I'm not sure like how manageable it's gonna be.
Like maybe we give them the money, and then we take a -2, so we're like almost at war still, but not quite there.
Yeah. You could do it so that you paid them the coin to like not stop them from being so annoyed.
Yeah.
But then you annoy him anyway.
So
Well, do you want to start with war then? Would you like? I mean, would everyone like to start at war or not?
I'd rather not. But
My preference would be starting with them at -2, and having the city council as +2.
Yeah, I'm for that. For -2.
So yeah, we'll start with no money, but they'll be at -2, and the city council will be at +2.
I still like the idea of pissing off the spirit wardens, to be honest.
Oh, that's also a thing that could happen.
No, yeah, that could be quite good,
True.
and you get to keep some money.
Because they're all about keeping the ghosts proper, right?
Destroying them.
They want to like not have random ghosts be around.
Yeah, they certainly don't want people trading in bloody spirit essence. It's dangerous stuff. So
And they run the crematorium.
But we do not want another -2, especially with the spirit wardens, because they are tough.
But I mean, I think it would make sense that they'd probably be the faction to most oppose what we're doing.
yeah, I mean, in fact, the fact that you have a +2 of the city council is probably what's kept them off your back as much as you have, despite how much you've pissed them off. So You're kind of playing those two factions against each other.
Why would the Sea Council like? Oh, because they like us through the magistrate, yeah.
Yeah. You guys have a strong relationship with the magistrate, and so he's used. He pulls some strings with his friends in the council to keep them sweet on you. Yeah.
I'm totally okay with your guys' idea.
So, Spirit Wraiths then, yeah? Spirit Wardens, I mean?
Wardens, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Spirit Wardens, -2. And let's see. So I guess what about Roland? What annoys them? Probably the fact that you're using him to manipulate the council to get away with things. That's almost exactly why they're annoyed. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
And because of that, they can't stop us because the council's in the way.
Basically, yeah. Even though they're like a secret society, so nobody knows who they are, they're still they still have to operate among other powerful forces, and the city council is one of the most powerful. So, yeah, their life has been made difficult when it comes to dealing with you. So, or at least their life has been made difficult in general because of the city council, and they're aware of you because of their dealings with, their investigations into the council, so that they can make things more aligned with their view of things. So.
Maybe they're kind of trying to balance how useful we are to how detrimental we are to the environment.
Yeah, well, that's probably why they're not at war with you. Is that you are actually destroying ghosts in some of the time, or at least keeping them out of the way, or weakening them to make you peddle your drugs. So.
They don't like our methods, but it's
results.
helping.
Yeah.
Sure, fair enough. That's
cool.
The reconcile. They both make sense for that angle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. So I think that is everything. For a cruise, yeah. There we go. So yeah, you've got more negatives than I think you've got slightly less. No, you've got more negatives than you've got positives.
Oh god.
Only by one. Yeah.
Good.
Could go to negative.
Do you get anything for that?
No. You get fun.
A satisfaction with pissing factions off.
Yes.
We're almost at war with the crows already.
Starting off right.
Yeah, it is amusingly almost at war with the crows because of a name, because of a brand war.
It's all about brand recognition.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And they can't take us to court because we've got a magistrate. We'll win.
Yeah.
They can't take us to court.
They're not going to get that trademark because.
Sorry, Crow, you've got to change your name.
It's not like they got a patent.
Yeah.
That would be one hell of a lawsuit. Our gang name brand has been compromised.
Yeah.
Are totally not illegal activities.
We're not illegal. We're undertakers.
It's defamation of the highest order. They are using our name, to hinder.
We should take them to court.
Well, we do have the magistrate on our side. We could take them to court and win.
We want to turn this into a court RP.
Can you guys even talk? Sway people properly?
I think we've got a couple of
I've
people
got sway.
I've got consort one at least.
I've got concert too, I think.
Consort 2,
Nice.
Sway 1.
I've got
So
sway
go on.
1.
Oh, I have sway 1.
I'll just break in and steal everything.
So we have a
Just
couple of
butter up the judge a little bit. Be like,
Why?
Well,
We've got a judge. We've got a magistrate.
yeah.
He's already on our side.
We've already battered him. He's eaten all the butter, and he's coming back.
Ghost
for
gave
seconds.
We gave him some good memories about.
I wasn't sure that he'd be able to do that personally. But maybe the judges then. Oh, jury. I mean, is it a jury system? I don't even.
I don't know how the court system works in Blades in the Dark.
Is Monty still it? Is Dark Liquid? Oh, yeah, you are. Okay. I didn't know if you'd gone. I didn't know if because your camera stopped working a while ago.
Yeah. No, I'm still here.
Alright, cool.
So we had a dance off before in Numenera. This time we're gonna like pretend this is Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, basically.
I object.
Objection! Overruled.
Right. What's next, Monty? Do we have to do anything else?
Blades in the court.
I think that's it. We've done all of our characters, done all the crew. I think that's basically everything. So the next thing to do is basically start playing.
Right, yeah.
Alright, so we'll start. So we'll start on Monday next week. Obviously, if the people watching the video, they'll see us starting after this video. So, yeah, stick around and you can watch this. But alright. I'm gonna need people to send me either send me your character names and your nicknames or whatever they're called, alias.
Yeah.
And then during the week we'll figure out who's available for Monday, and then we'll get that sorted.
All right.
If that's cool with everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Dal, but unfortunately she's missed out.
Yeah.
A shame.
But well, it was fun.
Yes.
Making up a group of horrible people.
Absolutely
you're
horrible.
You're the horrible one. I think so. Most of us have been quite reasonable.
So here, I'll sum it up for you. We've got a weasel. We've got somebody who likes to dick around with dead people. You've got incredibly ambitious, almost like weird ass Tycherosi man who probably would throw us under the bus if it meant gaining his former stuff. And we've got this.
You can call me Littlefinger.
Yeah, yeah, I could, and I wouldn't be wrong. And then, like, Fox's character is like totally manipulating spirits in order to do some weird ass drug, and it probably means killing their immortal souls. So, what's a little violence in the middle of all of this?
You said dicking around with corpses. I'm sorry, what I do is art.
We've got a sociopath on our team, and I'm the
Jeffrey Dahmer.
actually like probably a psycho. I'm probably the sociopath one. But yeah.
I feel like mine is the most wholesome one. I'm just like, I have ghost pets.
Yeah.
Ghost
You
pets
want to
are-
buy some?
Hey, I think I'm the most wholesome one. Thank you very much. I just still to survive.
And to like help your family, and I'm like, oh yeah, those are fake. Your family is fake news. It's actually like implanted memories in you.
It's a ghost memory.
Yeah, like the
When we're in court, we're just like fake news.
we should have had the ink
Maybe we
board,
should have done
yeah,
the press.
Yeah, the press guys should be our enemies because like
Well, there'll be plenty of time to make more enemies, I assure you.
I bet there will be. Yeah.
doing fake
We
news.
need to do that just so that we can, just so we can do that.
Call out fake news, everyone. What we're doing is completely ethical.
All right. So I think that's it, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep, we're all good.
Right. All right. Then we'll see you all. Well, we'll end the video now. But if people want to hang around, you're quite welcome to. So we will see you all in a little while.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for making characters. Thank you, Monty, for taking us through it all.
Otherwise.
We'll speak to you all shortly.